What up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of MMA Dynasty. UFC 287 just concluded, and we both picked Alex Pereira to win. And I just wanted to ask you, Jacob, what was your first reaction? You're in Mexico right now, so you're
Mm,
watching it in an unfamiliar place. What
yeah.
was the setting like? Where were you watching it? And then what was your reaction to the KO? And then we'll kind of get into the fight because, like, I'll talk about my reaction after. But I was gutted.
Yeah, no, so I was watching a fight on my phone, like by the beach, and I when it happened, no, like the whole fight from when it started till then, I was like, wow, like Pereira looks really good. I thought the game plan was great. I thought was about to take a 2-0 lead on Izzy, and then it's getting a bit cocky and flatline KO. At first, I thought Adesanya just dropped him, and that he would
Yeah.
just show up and like just probably win the round, but not
Mm-hmm.
like finish him. And then I saw like Pereira just go out like completely, and I was like, damn, Izzy just did that. But to be honest, though, I had this weird feeling that I was like, wait, like a lot of people were picking Alex Pereira second round. What if Adesanya finishes him in the second round? I had this weird feeling, like slightly, and yeah,
I,
it
I
happened.
had it. I had it in the back of my head too.
Yeah, and just that was Izzy's way of winning,
Yeah.
to get the finish early on. Like he wasn't as the fight went on, Alex would continue to wear on him, chop his legs, and just eventually find the finish, and that's what it seemed like it was going for him, and he just got too cocky, got caught, and got flatline KO'd. Like completely, like
Yo, I love how we're just all like mourning over the over Alex Pereira's dead body right now after all the shit that we talked.
yeah. I mean, like I think the thing is about Pereira, like first of all, like what I was thinking, I was like, do you think the weight cut played a factor in just getting flatline KO'd in that like sense, like, or do you think that punch would have knocked out anybody, like
I
out
think
cold?
it's definitely Pereira's chin. Like, here's the thing: you if Marvin Vittori takes that shot, I know he's great at chin, but he's not getting put out with that.
No,
If Jared Cannonier takes that shot, I don't think he's getting put out like that. I think that the thing is, Adesanya landed the 1-2, and the reason he was able to follow up with another 1-2 and a hook is because Alex was rocked. So the first thing I saw when I saw it live was I saw like Izzy hit him with a good shot, and
mm,
Pereira just for whatever reason it looked like he almost like froze in midair and like was just kind of like wobbling around, and Adesanya capitalized immediately. Um,
yeah, it was
and
good. It was a good follow up. It
yeah,
was so
amazing.
good.
And so
Yeah,
I was like, Pereira was rocked from the first one too. It didn't even like land that flush, but he got him on like the temple area. I feel like he wouldn't have KO'd a lot of other. He would have maybe KO'd Whitaker with that shit, but Whitaker wouldn't have been teeing off
yeah.
him up against the fence. When I saw the knockout, I saw the exact same thing as you. I thought it was like a knockdown. I was like, whoa, he got, and then I see Pereira
Like,
just
oh,
like out
Pereira got
cold.
clipped. Yeah, yeah. I think the weight cut definitely played a factor, but that was still a good shot, and like like you
I
see
think he's a little
why.
bit chinny.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, you see why people don't engage with Adesanya now. You know what I mean? Like it's not Izzy's excuse for being boring. Like he doesn't go to kill people. He go like so he tries not to lose and tries to slightly win.
Yeah,
Like get a win, like point fight, whatever. But you see why fighters are hesitant to like really
bang
try
with
to hurt
Izzy.
Adesanya. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
yeah, no, I think Pereira got a little too confident. His hands were going. He wasn't like he was keeping his hands down when he hurt him and kind of just wasn't like. But yeah, no, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if Pereira's chinny, but I think the weight cut could have played a factor because he was out cold, and I don't think that was
yeah.
Izzy's. I don't think that was one of Izzy's hardest shots. Like he's hit
No,
someone with. That was
but like
probably
the
the
way he
biggest
baited him
blow
in
ever.
with his eyes open, like he was, I was, you know, at the start of that round. Remember the start of the second round? Like there was such a big difference with the way that Pereira was fighting in the first and the second. I felt
Yeah,
like, yeah, the middle of the second round was perfect from Pereira, But I felt like, and I thought he was doing well in the beginning because he started to put more sting on his shots. He started to be a little bit more aggressive. But the first round, like Pereira was getting out of the way of like every single
Yeah, his defense is
shot
really
that
good.
Adesanya was throwing, like his right hand. He dodged like 8 of them. And then the second round, he comes out, and immediately I'm saying to myself, what the fuck? He's coming out like really aggressive. I feel like he should chill out a little bit. It's the second round. Adesanya is still really dangerous. And then he does really well. He's starting to buckle the legs of Adesanya. And I'm thinking to myself, holy shit, like Pereira is starting to kind of run away with this fight. And he just, I don't know what it was. He just went in there running like that's what you do in the fifth when this man has no more pop in his hands.
Yeah.
You don't do that kind of shit. That's when you do, hold on. That's not just that's what you do when you're losing the fight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not in the second round where it's close.
He didn't need to do that. He didn't need to do that.
I
But
was
I also
so disappointed because
I
he was
even know,
doing
like
so well.
I feel like he could have also like been able to should have been able to maybe take that shot though. You know, like if you really
I understand what you mean, right? I get it. Like
he shouldn't be flatline KO'd by like a shot like that. You know, I don't know.
You know, people look past it, but all those fights in kickboxing, like that must do like over the years, that's got to start to harm your chin. I know it's the weight cut mostly, but he's been through, he gets hit in his career. He's gotten hit a lot.
I also think that the thing is, I don't necessarily like, I think his he recovered from the weight cut affected his recovery. You know what I mean? Because he went from like getting hit with the first shot, which definitely hurt him a bit, then to the second shot, like which hurt him like a ton, and then to the follow-up shot. Like I just think the weight cut really affected his recovery. Like I think when you saw Colby against Usman in the second fight, he got dropped twice in that round, but he recovered well because like he doesn't cut that much weight. So I do think the weight cut played a factor though. But still, nonetheless, I think that was a great knockout. You know what I mean? It was.
Dude, I honestly felt like someone just died. I felt like someone died when that happened.
Yeah, it was horrible, you know. And it's not even that I'm like the biggest Pereira fan at all. Like, you know what I mean? Like I wouldn't really say like I'm a Pereira. I just don't like Izzy at all. And like and people like say we're haters for that, but like I've given Izzy the chance to win me over so many times, and he always like just I'll listen to him and he'll say a couple good things and he'll just mess it up, and I'm just like, oh my god, this guy's the worst. Like, you know what I mean? Like, not even just as like a fighter, like as just like a personality. Like, you know, he's super cocky, he's cringy, he's rude. You know what I mean? Yes, last night in the press conference, he was like to these right when he got in, he told the media, he was like, don't ask me any stupid question. Like, don't ask me like any of like some sort of like question.
Did he
don't
say that after this?
Yeah, he was like, don't ask me these generic questions. Like, just like ask me something that I want to actually respond to, or something like that. He's like, then he also said the thing once again, like, I can do your guys' job, but you can't do my job.
He said that again.
Yeah, he said that again. Yeah,
honestly, this is why I can't stand the guy. I just
don't get why people like him. You know,
he's a complete asshole.
Like, yeah, he's an asshole. He's cocky. He's cringy. Like,
he emoted in front of Alex's kids. Like, people are actually out here defending that behavior. Like, I understand if it's Alex's brother or his dad or his uncle. Like, it's his fucking kids. You know, it's a little bit messy. Yeah, granted, they probably shouldn't be at the fight anyway. But like, still, man, that's really gross. And
he's just
the thing
cocky
is,
and like,
for me, it's like I up until that fight week, I was saying like, I don't even mind Adesanya, but like when he started getting in front of the media and just denying what had happened in the previous fight, I started to get annoyed. Then he starts wearing the collars and the dresses. Then he emotes on the kids. Then, as you just said, he told the reporters that he could do their job and all that. And like, yeah, it was beautiful to see him and Pereira shake hands backstage. That was honestly that was a great moment. And I'm happy
like he acted like he was the guy who's 3-1.
Yeah, I know. Exactly. But like, the thing is, what made me want to root for Pereira is because he's just like the opposite of Adesanya. They're both warriors, right? As far as fighting is concerned, Pereira more so. But like, Pereira's just like this. Pereira was walking in with suits. He was looking so wholesome all week. He had come from the bottom. Like, the guy is finally making it, and he's starting to smile more. He's starting to get more comfortable, and he wasn't really cocky. He just seemed like a happier guy, and like, he was doing so well. And this is the saddest shit ever. it's like, if you were like in Usman's family, watching the Edwards 2 fight, this is probably what it was like to see him get chinned when he was on his way to winning.
It's even worse because Usman made all the money already.
Yeah, exactly. Pereira, there you go.
Pereira hasn't made all the money yet. You know what I mean? And it's just like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I also think, it's just like, I don't know why people are like, Izzy's like the coldest ever for doing that bow and arrow thing. Like they're acting like he's just like the coldest man alive and all that. And they're forgetting about him wearing a dog collar to the freaking
and having boring ass fights for like half of his career.
Yeah, that's what they're forgetting about, those 3 straight boring fights. Like
the guy is literally
we all paid for pay-per-view, took our time out of our whatever we were doing to watch. Like, you know what I mean? Like they forget about that all of a sudden because he has one good knockout. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's obviously a great fighter. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm not like, we're not like disputing that. It's just like, I don't know why people love him. Like, I really don't know why people love him.
He's even worse than Jones for me because like at least Jones isn't cringe in his personality. Like Jones is not a great guy, and he's but as far as fighting, he's the GOAT. That's undeniable. Izzy's like, everyone has been behind Izzy. Like, the media. You saw the highlights. Like they kept showing this promo of the first fight before last night's main event, and it was Izzy kicking his ass, Pereira having one moment where he's swinging like an idiot, missing all his punches, landing one, and Izzy's like, no. And that's how they promoted this fight. They promoted it like Izzy dominated the last one. Not the case. And like, he's also just cringe as fuck. And the guy is like, kind of a piece of shit. And I don't understand why people get behind him so heavily, bro. I don't get it. I really don't. Volk, I don't even think Volk is friends with Izzy. I think Volk's pretending to be friends with Izzy.
I think he just feels bad.
I bet Volk was helping Pereira train during this training camp. I bet he was. I bet he was preparing him.
I just think I don't know. Izzy's just like, I don't get why people get behind him. Honestly, I mean, he's a good fighter, but like he'll have a knockout in 1 out of every like 11 fights or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Or 2 out of every 11 fights or whatever it is. Contender Izzy, I guess, is the more entertaining one. Do
you think that this because I feel like this, do you think that Pereira made Izzy a better fighter in the UFC? Do you think Izzy like training hard for Pereira, honing in on his striking? Do you think that's made him better? I feel like it probably has a little bit.
Not when he goes against Chimaev.
Dude, honestly, to be honest, like I just want to bring this up again because I asked that question and I'm thinking to myself, wait a second, he lost the last one. We're talking about it like it almost seems like he's lost both, but that's just the narrative in the UFC. He lost the last one. He was losing this one. Izzy won with a puncher's chance, and we gave him the puncher's chance. Like that was his way to winning. He did not win by being Mr. Technical. Like, he was the finish like genius from Israel Adesanya, genius. But people get mad when you say Alex Pereira made a mistake. They act like that's not the case, which is just crazy to me. Like if you get knocked out, like you leave yourself open to getting KO'd. And Adesanya won with the puncher's chance. Like I'm sorry, but like people are. I hate the idea that people can now run with this fight as if like Izzy was always the better guy, and that pisses me off.
Exactly.
Because I feel like man, I just can't believe it actually happened, bro. I feel like Pereira is just. I feel like his career at middleweight is done completely.
Yeah, I mean, he's not going to make the weight again. I mean, if his chin is going to be if he fights at 85 again, his chin is going to be completely gone. There's just no way it won't be, especially after a knockout like that, already cutting a ton of weight. Like his chin's going to be gone at 85. He has to move up to 205.
Yeah. Do you think he could even beat a guy like Magomed or something like that? I mean, like, do you think he could do? Do you think he could take shots at 205? Do you think his chin would be better after this?
Yeah, because he doesn't
bad KO.
But he doesn't need to cut as much weight. You know what I mean?
That's true. But again, like, I feel like a KO like this just might be bad overall for the rest of your career. Like he took it when he was late. Izzy took it when he was young,
Yeah, that's true. But I don't know. I think if he moves up a weight class, I think his chin at least gets a little bit better. And I think you could maybe fast track it a bit into a title shot. Like you maybe put him against Jan. What about him versus Jan Blachowicz?
Him versus Jan be good. Dude, highlight this comment. We all wearing black today, morning season. That's hilarious. Because you texted me You just have to click on it. You texted me that we should wear black yesterday for Adesanya's funeral. And oh man, it's so ironic because I didn't even think of me wearing black until now, and now we're both wearing black. It's morning season.
This is more blue, but
yeah, okay, fair enough.
But yeah, no,
I think I maybe do well against Jan because the thing is, Jan, I feel like Alex Burr is a better leg kicker than Izzy, and I think he's better with his overall boxing against a guy like Jan. But again, I could see Jan catching Pereira too. I feel like that would be the most interesting striking matchup, and I would probably favor Pereira slightly.
Yeah, I'd pick
especially because of Jan's age too.
I think that's what you should do with Pereira. I mean, nobody wants to see Magomed Ankalaev like fight for a belt. You know,
I don't want to see Magomed versus Pereira. I hope UFC doesn't fuck with Pereira like that.
I think everyone would so much rather see a Yuri or a Jamal Hill versus Pereira rather than like a Magomed Ankalaev. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So I think you put Pereira against what's his name? Jan, you know, and then the winner will fight the winner, Yuri versus Jamal Hill. Done. You know what I mean? That's you do it. Pereira could fight. You can recover. And
how long do you think you should take off?
Because I feel fight in like October, November, something like that.
6 months max. You think that's it?
6 months? Oh wow, no. Oh,
but this KO could be like. I mean, this was a devastating KO, man. I feel like you should take off at least 10 months.
But I don't know if you can afford to do that. You know what I mean?
Like, yeah, I mean, I understand.
The whole UFC will pass up. You know, like they'll like have like another contender that or whatever division. So I think you take until like October, November, December. You have him fight Jan, and the winner will fight the winner of Yuri Jamal. And yeah, I think the winner would be Pereira. I think Pereira would beat Jan, and I think him versus Yuri or him versus Jamal Hill would be a great fight. But I think in terms of Israel Adesanya, like what do you do now? You know what I mean? You're gonna put through the Whitaker trilogy, which nobody really like cares to see. You know, Whitaker after
did you see Whitaker's reaction?
What was Whitaker's reaction?
He was like he didn't say he was saying nothing. He was doing a live stream of the UFC. He was just not. He didn't say anything for 2 minutes. He was pissed. Yeah, he was.
Because I bet you. You know what I bet you? I bet you the UFC was holding him on ice to fight the winner if it was going to be Pereira.
Yeah,
I bet you that was the case. And now he can't get a title shot because I mean there's no way that they're going to book Izzy versus Pereira.
Izzy's talking about Dricus du Plessis too. I'm like, bro, fuck off with that stuff. I guarantee the UFC they're going to try to protect Izzy. They're not going to give him Khamzat, which is who they should give him because it's
who would they give him?
Well, these are the only options. Pereira, which. Some people are saying it's his chin because he's old now and he didn't get knocked out at that weight class in kickboxing. Some people are saying that, maybe he should move up to 205. So maybe not Pereira. Here's the thing. Like, I feel like at some point you should do a third fight just because, like, Adesanya, like, you're three. Here's the thing, bro. I feel like if Pereira moves up, he could still get KO'd because kickboxing is a little bit different than MMA striking. You know, MMA striking is there's always that puncher's chance that you have. You know, it's just a little different.
Mm-hmm.
And if Pereira sticks around a middleweight, I think it's a big mistake. So ultimately, let's cancel off Pereira. Then the other two options are Whitaker, which no one's clamoring for. But then the other option is there's literally only Khamzat.
There's no excuse anymore.
And Izzy's never fought in Abu Dhabi.
I also think Izzy on an interview said that he wants new contenders. That's
but he's talking about Dricus. He's talking about who's gotten a win recently at middleweight. No one.
No one.
Dude, it better be fucking Khamzat.
Dricus and Vettori.
Dricus and Vittori's not a new contender though.
Yeah, but he got a win recently at middleweight. They're not doing Vettori. They're not doing. They're not going to do like.
They literally have to do. This guy, they have to do Chimaev.
You have to. There's no other option. Like I mean, like the only way you can justify a guy like Dricus is if he beats
a high level guy.
Whitaker, you'd have to beat Whitaker.
That ain't gonna happen.
And that's not gonna happen. Does he? I don't even think he beats Vettori. You know?
No, I don't think he beats Vettori. I think he loses, and no one wants to see a third fight with Vettori. So I feel like this. I feel like the UFC that they're gonna come to the same conclusion. Listen, we either do a Pereira trilogy, or we do, because maybe Izzy's gonna be convinced to get it over with. Maybe they like the numbers. Who knows what the numbers were? That could always drive what they do. But here's the thing: if that's not the case, I already know Adesanya is not gonna want to turn around and fight anytime soon, just because he's been saying he's gonna like soak in this moment. He's gonna go on a whole vacation, right? Well, while Chimaev trains like a bad man, this guy will be on vacation.
Same with Whitaker.
Yeah. And basically, it looks like, the timeline is going to be Adesanya coming back in the fall like he did against Costa in 2020 in September, October. That was September. I think he'll fight in Abu Dhabi or September on the September card in Vegas, and I think it'll be against Khamzat.
You got to do that.
Literally, there's no other option. So in that case, who do you have winning the fight? Because I think that if he fights Khamzat next, which the UFC, if they want to make money, that's what they should do. Like, and if they give him anyone other than Pereira or Khamzat or Whitaker, anyone other than those three, that is going to be the most indicative.
Not even Whitaker. You can't do Whitaker.
You can't. So at this point, if it has to be Pereira or Khamzat, I'm going to be upset if it's Pereira nonetheless, because I feel like, the guy just got KO'd. He needs to take time off. If it's not Khamzat Chimaev,
who's it going to be?
Yeah, it has to be him. And I think that Khamzat is going to destroy Israel Adesanya in one round. I think he takes him down. I think he does what Raul Rosas did last night. Same thing he did to Kevin Holland. Runs at him, takes him down, struggles to get it, eventually gets him down, takes the back, and fucking destroys him.
Yeah.
I think it's not even going to be a fight. I don't think Adesanya will be able to stuff the takedown. Khamzat, again, different level of skill, and Whitaker is not the same grappler as Khamzat. He's a good wrestler, but he's not the same size, height, and when he gets you there, I'm sorry, he's not surviving. He's not surviving that. Khamzat will destroy him and submit him in one round, and I can't wait, because I'm tired. I don't like seeing Adesanya with the belt. I'm tired of that. Let's just get it.
I'm tired of the cockiness. I want him to get humbled again. He didn't even get humbled. He didn't even get humbled.
Well, yeah, fucking A. He didn't really get, but maybe he did in a way, though, because he said he trained hard for this.
But he trains hard for every fight, honestly.
Yeah, but this one was different. You could tell his whole.
Yeah, but now he's back to his cockiness. You know what I mean?
And the thing is, the last time we saw him in this moment was against Whitaker. And what was his next fight? Shitty the Yoel Romero fight.
Yeah. I mean, Khamzat's the only fight that makes sense. What else are you gonna do? You can do
has to be that.
Whitaker 3 will sell good 10K pay-per-views. You know what I mean? Nobody cares to see that fight. Who else? I mean, Pereira. If he wants to do the Pereira rematch,
I'm going to try to contact Pereira to tell him not to, because I really feel that strongly about it. He should not take that fight.
He's not going to be able to fight until after the end of the year. This is Izzy's only fight of the year if he wants the Pereira rematch. So I think if he wants Izzy, I know Izzy's active. If he wants to stay active, he has to fight Khamzat. That's the only option. You put Whitaker against Costa. Why not?
Yeah.
That makes sense. Winner will fight the winner. Why not? There's a storyline between either one,
Yeah.
If Whitaker beats Costa, Chimaev beats Izzy, that's a great fight. Whitaker versus Chimaev, and or if Costa wins, Chimaev versus Costa is obviously a huge fight. I just don't think you risk booking Chimaev versus Costa. You should not risk that. You know what I mean? Because if Chimaev loses, now you have Costa demanding a title shot, and nobody would care to see an Adesanya Costa 2 fight. They just wouldn't. Yep. Nobody. It seems like nobody wants to see no more 2s. Not even Pereira Adesanya 2, Whitaker Adesanya 2. Vittoria Adesanya 2. We don't want to keep seeing these 2s and 3s and stuff like that. We want to see someone fresh,
I mean, listen, I want to see Pereira and Adesanya again, just because, I mean, at the end of the day, it's 1-1. And Pereira beat this man 2 times outside of, he knocked him out twice. I actually saw comments saying last night, Adesanya did way worse to Pereira than Pereira.
It's not even about that, though.
I'm just, they forgot that Adesanya got KO'd stiff. Adesanya's knockout, and this is me being petty. in kickboxing was like even worse. He had to have a feeding tube. He had to have an oxygen mask.
Yeah. Oh, that's kind of funny. That's a little funny.
Exactly. The guy had to have an oxygen mask. He was on death's door. So like Pereira Pereira had it even better. He not only knocked him out cold, but he like TKO'd him, whereas like the ref needed to step in to save him, where it couldn't have been a fluke. I always said this: a standing TKO is more like non-fluky than a regular KO, because it's like he was like not defending himself for 30 seconds. So Pereira had the best of both worlds.
The oxygen tank.
Yeah, he needed an oxygen tank, and people forgot that. And I commented, bro, have you seen the knockout in 2017? So it's like, for me, I want to see the fight again eventually.
I don't even care
because it's going to be such a long wait. It needs to be Khamzat in the meantime.
I also think that who cares? Like they both. Izzy
could move up to 205 and fight Pereira up there.
Izzy got his win. You know what I mean? Like great. Like
imagine Pereira beats Jamal Hill and then Izzy fights for the title up there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they should do it at 185. I mean, it just gives Izzy a huge advantage. You know what I mean? Especially now. But I don't know what they'll do. I mean,
this guy said we're all coping so hard.
You just have to put Chimaev. Like, who else is there to make? I mean, Whitaker 3 is just the worst. Like that.
No one wants to say it's a boring matchup, and it's only boring because Whitaker is probably not going to just get KO'd again.
Yeah,
and I don't think Whitaker finishes Adesanya.
No, Izzy's got a great chin, honestly. That's what I have to say. Izzy is a really good chin.
He took left hooks from Pereira, bro.
Izzy's chin Izzy's got a great chin. That's what I have to say. But Chimaev versus Izzy, that's the fight.
Let's talk about the matchup.
Does numbers. Yeah, let's talk about it. I think Chimaev is gonna maul him. Like straight up. I think he's gonna do it similar to what he did to Jamal Hill. No, not Jamal Hill, to Kevin Holland.
Oh, Kevin. Okay. Yeah.
How is it gonna you really think Izzy's much better at grappling than Kevin Holland? Because I don't really think so. Maybe in terms of takedown,
he's probably better because he was able to stuff it from Brunson where Kevin Holland wasn't, and Vettori too.
Yeah.
He's definitely better. But again, this is an improved Chimaev who is big and fighting shittier guys.
Yeah, so I think Chimaev, Izzy's going to have no chance. Izzy's gotten taken down by Marv Vettori, by Whitaker. And these guys, Vettori isn't a great wrestler at all. Whitaker is good at wrestling, but he's no Chimaev. And I think, grappling level. So I think Chimaev takes him down, puts him in positions that Whitaker put him in. He's finishing right there, Yeah. He's going to do what Whitaker
He's stronger than Whitaker.
And, he's stronger than Whitaker. He's probably bigger than Whitaker.
Yeah.
I think
it's harder than Whitaker too.
He definitely hits harder. Better chin than Whitaker, I would say.
Yeah, 100%. I really feel like Khamzat destroys this man, and even with the striking, I feel like Khamzat is gonna get right in his face, even if he can't secure that first takedown. I think Khamzat is constantly in his face, just beating his ass until he gets the takedown. I think Izzy is definitely going to be dangerous again with some of those counters, but he ain't finishing Khamzat like he finished Derek Brunson. No. And I feel like Khamzat
how he finished Pereira.
That is definitely not happening. Pereira's Khamzat's not going to do that against the fence. He'll be
Khamzat. He'll try. He'll be exactly. Khamzat also doesn't need to cut that much weight, so he's going to be hydrated, feeling good. You know what I mean? He's going to be quick for that division.
Yeah.
We got to remember, since he's up from 170, I think he's going to do really well. I think he's going to take him down, submit him in the first round, rear naked choke, some sort of submission, and I think Izzy's going to tap and or get put to sleep, either one. But I don't think it's going to be close. Even if it goes past the first round, I think Chimaev just fucking ends up finding it no matter what. I also think Chimaev would actually have some success with the calf kicks too, because Chimaev has some good calf kicks, but I don't even think he's going to strike with. I don't even think he needs to strike with.
He's good enough to at least
Chimaev
survive out there. He's better.
He's good enough to Yeah, he's a better fighter. He's a better striker than Cannonier. He's a better striker than Vettori. Like,
and yeah,
better striker. Like and like these guys who Izzy fought close fights against. So I think Chimaev, no matter what, we'll get him down at some point, and when he gets him down, it's gonna be lights out. Like it's over. So, and I think Chimaev's gonna be a pretty big favorite going into that fight. Honestly, like I was thinking about it the other day. Chimaev fights Izzy. He's gonna probably be minus 400. Or at least minus 250.
I don't know about that. I bet it'll be like minus 200, and Izzy will be like plus 100.
He's definitely gonna be He's definitely gonna be a favorite though against Izzy.
You think so?
And I think that fight,
yeah, I think he will
fight
be.
does.
I think that fight does numbers too. I've wanted to see that. That's big. That's almost bigger than Usman and Khamzat. It is bigger. And another thing that without a doubt. And also Izzy's stock was just raised. So like, here's the thing though. Adesanya just beat Pereira. Like that does wonders for his resume. I said this earlier, but I think that now Izzy's probably ahead of Whitaker. Like I know it was pretty.
I can't hear you. You're muted.
Oh my gosh. How long was I muted for?
Like 10 seconds.
Okay. Yeah. My thing is knocking Pereira out is like really good for the resume. And that does wonders for Izzy. I feel like that's one of the most impressive knockouts you can get in the UFC. So if he beats Khamzat, where does that put him on the GOAT list? Does that put him in the top 10? Definitely.
Top 10 all time? Oh, yeah. 100%. To do that to a guy like Khamzat, who's a terrible stylistic matchup for him, it would for sure put him in the top 10.
And where exactly? Like, because the thing is, right now, you just got to win over Pereira. I'd have Izzy like maybe 11. I mean, I don't know, maybe 11 around there. 2-time champion.
Yeah. I mean,
but hold on. I think I would have him maybe 11 max. I would not have him top 10 right now. I feel like because again, some of those wins as he had as a champion were really not really wins. And I feel like if he can beat Khamzat though, I feel that puts him in the top 10.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it would definitely. I mean, it could put him like I feel like you can put him higher than like a guy like Aldo, maybe even.
Oh yeah, I mean that Khamzat, Whitaker, Pereira. I'm trying to think of other names. There aren't that many. It feels like all the good names are about to be on his list. All of a sudden, like he's got. First of all, Gaslam, like that's a good win. Now we saw how good he looked last night.
Yeah, Gaslam fought great, but I mean, again, Curtis though is very low output, and honestly, not gonna lie, I lost a lot of money on Curtis because I was just like, okay, like Calvin Gaslam hasn't fought in a very long time. I think he's gonna be real rusty, and I think he's gonna get knocked out. And but I did have the concern with the output, and he ended up losing because of the output. So that judge who gave it a 30-27 was crazy, though. By the way, like Curtis for sure won that last round.
Yeah, 100%. That he definitely won the last round without a doubt. I think 2 of the judges gave Izzy the first round against Pereira too.
Really?
I that's what I heard. I haven't actually looked at the scorecards, but I had that round for Pereira.
Yeah, I had it Pereira because of the leg kicks. You know, I think that did some more damage than the few strikes Izzy hit Pereira with. But I think Khamzat is next for Adesanya 100%. I think that does big numbers too, especially now that Adesanya is coming off a huge knockout. You could put it in Abu Dhabi, October,
or the Vegas card, September,
maybe. Yeah, September
or August. I mean, like, to be honest, maybe there's always August pay-per-view. So in that case, like I the reason I say it's probably not August is just because Khamzat's been talking about fall and all this shit, and Izzy's also thinking about going on a world tour, bragging, because Izzy's been saying in the lead up to this, if he wins, he's gonna bask in his glory. And like I know Izzy's been active throughout his career, and that's something that is a positive of him. Like I have to give that to him, you know. But I think he's gonna take a while off just because he's probably trained so hard for Pereira, and he's gonna want to chill. So I think again, like even though Izzy is still active, I feel like we're just kind of screwed for a Khamzat fight because I feel like he's gonna be the guy, and they're gonna put him on ice until Izzy's ready. So we might not see these guys fight
Yeah.
until like maybe even like November, Madison Square Garden,
Oh, you could do Madison Square Garden, Chimaev versus Izzy.
or just Abu Dhabi, or like one of these. I feel like Izzy would want to go to Abu Dhabi.
You think he would?
I mean, like, Izzy seems the kind. He seems like he wants to get all those boxes ticked, like having all these like different places to fight in. But at the same time, man, I just want to see Khamzat fight. Like, I'm really, and I don't want honestly. If he's next in line for the title, they need to either lock it in, or I mean, like, they need to lock it in because
Or tell us.
I can't deal with another summer full fucking season of Khamzat Chimaev not having any fight updates.
I don't know what the problem is with the UFC, like with him.
I feel like they've just had him on ice for these kinds of things, and Khamzat's, I don't know, man. Like Colby, it was Colby at first. First it was Leon winning against Usman. Then it was Colby. Now it's like waiting for what happens with Izzy and Pereira, and now it's Izzy. It's probably going to be Khamzat, but now Izzy's going to want to run around the world for 10 months.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like,
I feel like
everything's kind of screwed. I feel honestly, man, I know that I know this is like good that Khamzat's gonna fight, and I can't wait for him to take Adesanya out because I feel like he's the perfect guy to do it. Pereira was always risky, and I think that like I can't see Adesanya knocking Khamzat out. Like he's not KOing him in the way he's not gonna do it.
And doesn't it also feel like this is like the end of Adesanya's championship reign, though? Regardless,
if it's Khamzat next, I think knowing the UFC and how much they suck this guy off, I feel like they might just do Izzy versus like Strickland or Israel Adesanya versus the next top contender Dricus du Plessis. Like they'll probably. I'm just saying that's a 10% chance that they want to protect his legacy and make him the GOAT. They'll do Adesanya Jan Blachowicz too at middleweight. Jan Blachowicz comes in without a leg because he has to.
Jan make middleweight though?
No, but I think they'll do it. Essentially what I'm saying is I think the UFC wants Adesanya to get a bunch of free wins.
Do you think they do? But Khamzat, I feel like they also probably know that he could be a pretty big star too.
I just want to see him fight, man. Like honestly, I just I feel like they need to fucking make something happen. It needs to be Khamzat.
Yeah, and how could Dana White this conservative man, whatever, like be a huge fan of a guy who's like wearing like a dress and dog collar?
Because dude, this is the status quo these days. Man, that's his into the woke culture. That's his into the woke market.
So people are saying about Burns almost finishing Khamzat. It's a completely different fight because
Burns is not
Khamzat's not going to strike with Izzy like he did with Burns. Burns has this jiu-jitsu threat that Izzy wishes he had, or even close to having.
Yeah.
Khamzat's when he takes Izzy down, he's not fearing these arm bars or any sort of submissions. He's trying to maul him. You know what I mean? So,
and this guy said, if Burns was rocking Khamzat, Izzy has a decent chance to put him out. Like, yeah, Izzy can hypothetically put him out.
He could put him out, but
it's
like Khamzat's not going to strike with him.
Yeah, he's not going to do that. Like Gilbert Burns is completely got out of those bad positions, and Izzy's probably not going to be able to do that.
Burns has been doing jiu-jitsu since he was a kid. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Izzy's been doing it for 5 years, 4 years.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's a different level. It's a completely different fight. But someone said Burns would beat Izzy. No, Burns would not beat Izzy. I actually was not impressed by Burns at all.
Not even in the third when he was kicking Masvidal's ass.
I wasn't that impressed. I mean, I think Burns is. I mean, I was impressed, but I think Leon fucks Burns up. By the way.
I still agree with that. But I think Leon fucks Burns up. I was impressed with the way Burns was teeing off on Masvidal in the boxing, and Masvidal just couldn't do anything.
I just feel like Burns, how doesn't he submit these guys? I just don't get it.
That's the thing I've been saying for so long. And I made a whole video because he was talking about in the weigh-in show how he wanted to change that around. And I was like, oh, now he's serious about it because he just submitted Neil Magny. And he said the Wonder Boy comments got to him. But then I watched that fight and I'm like, typical Gilbert
A
Burns.
lot of the same stuff.
But he's still able to at least hold the position, which is, good for winning.
Yeah, but like, man.
I think kick Masvidal's ass in the third. Like, he was raw. He basically dropped him in the first round too. Like, I felt like it was a really good win from him. He did it better than Colby. He did it better than Colby.
But he is better than Colby. Like, Burns, I think, beats Colby.
Yeah. I still think Burns should get a title shot over Colby, but they won't do it.
Burns is going to fight the winner, I think. And I'm excited to see that. I like Burns. He
was saying he was gonna quit if they didn't give him a title shot.
He should do that. You know what I mean? He should.
So?
He's the guy who fought Chimaev.
I know. Like, that's why I keep saying like that. People act like I don't like the whole thing where, well, he's only beat Magny and this guy, like he came close with Chimaev and that's good enough. So
yeah, a guy who Colby wouldn't fight. I also think that Burns
is fucking getting better, man. That's the thing about Burns.
He's also gonna be the backup fighter, which obviously now we know is a huge deal for Dana. You know what I mean? So I think Burns will be the backup fighter. And
Burns and Colby would be sick too.
Burns and Leon would also be sick. Like either one.
Yeah. Although I think that Leon would knock him out. I just feel like it's a style thing. Leon's.
Oh, if he not. Yeah, it probably.
I feel like he would. I feel like maybe not KO him, but I feel like Leon would basically just outstrike him.
Yeah, but Burns versus Burns versus Colby. Oh my god,
that'd be a sick fight.
Amazing. That's the only thing I wouldn't be.
I think Burns really hurts Colby though. Now after watching his stand up,
Burns hurts everyone he fights though. Like
now, like he really does. Yeah, that's true.
Everyone he fights, like it's not gonna happen to Colby Covington, the guy who's the blood of all the guys.
I see it now. Like Masvidal literally could not have any success with Gilbert Burns on the feet.
Because he just has Burns just surprises people
with his speed and his power. Yeah,
he's just he's explosive. You know what I mean? I think I think he fucks Colby up bad, and I think he'd maybe finish Colby. Honestly.
Dude, Burns has always beaten Colby's opponents better than Colby. Like
Colby versus Burns, that's a good fight. That's a really I want to see that fight. So if Colby wins, that would make me so much less upset.
I still don't think Colby's gonna win, but it would make.
I don't think Colby wins. But if he does, I mean, that fight is very intriguing to me, so I would love to see it. But what I do have to say is, what are the chances Colby's gonna make that fight before the next year? You know what I mean? I think if Colby's
gonna take off a year,
like who wins the bout, he's going on a world tour. He's going to Trump's house. He's going to doing all this kind of stuff, and he'll like defend the belt the year later.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So that's what I don't want to see at all.
Dude, I feel like we have so many inactive champions, bro. I know Izzy hasn't been inactive, but like
Izzy's not inactive.
Leon and Izzy not right now, but again, like Jones, I feel like I'm starting to get the idea. Why have they not made Jones and Miocic?
I don't think Stipe. Well, I think Stipe is being flaky. I think that's what the deal is. I don't think it has to do with Jones. I mean, Jones took no damage. He was willing to fight God. It was way more dangerous than Stipe.
Yeah, dude. I honestly feel like I'm starting to feel like that's not even gonna happen.
Yeah, I think Stipe is ducking him. I think it comes down to that. I think December. Stipe was supposed to fight Jones in November.
Yeah.
He was supposed to.
Dude, now that I'm thinking about it, I feel like I'm disappointed with every single champion almost. Like, I'm like, okay, Leon is fine. Islam is fine, I guess. Volk is fine. Aljo, I'm a little bit disappointed with. Flyweight, I don't really care about that much. Heavyweight, I'm not the big Jones guy. I'm starting to get the inactive things vibes. Jamal Hill is all right. I just feel like I still don't view him as a legit champ yet. And I guess I'm just pissed about 185 Izzy being champ. I really think I'm almost starting to think that like every division's pissing me off, but it really just boils down to Izzy. Like I'm honestly like I'm still pissed.
Izzy and Aljo.
Yeah.
Izzy and Aljo.
Yeah, Izzy and
Aljo won't be champ. Aljo won't be champ for much longer though. So it's all
and
good.
So
and neither will Izzy. If this Chimaev fight happens, like Izzy's not gonna be champ anymore. But I think the one thing, though, I would say is Pereira was not going to be a super active champion.
No, he probably wasn't.
Either. He was not going to. He has these big weight cuts. he probably would have had to move to 205 anyway.
But at least we would be
So,
able to
like, it
see him with the belt, though, and that's the thing. It's like seeing Izzy like being able to showboat and have the belt, and seeing Pereira without the belt. Like that's the thing about Pereira winning is I wanted to see him with the belt, bro. It's good. Like it's always good to have a guy like that
Yeah.
like, have the belt, you know, because even if
A
he's not the
humble
most
guy
active
like
guy,
Pereira.
like he's every one of Pereira's fights is going to be more entertaining than Izzy's. Like the thing is, Adesanya against Vettori, if you do that a rematch, or Whitaker or Cannonier, like all these fights are going to suck. Every fight Pereira's in, if it's against a guy that's going to strike at least somewhat, it's going to be a banger. So, because Pereira goes
Yeah.
after it, bro, and that's the thing. Like, I still can't get over what he was doing, and I know he's probably pissed because he's probably rewatching it over and over and over again, saying to himself, "What was I doing, man?" He was like, if he had just continued to imagine if he had just fought like Edwards for the rest of the fight, just slowly but surely leg kicking, breaking Adesanya, stuffing takedowns in the later rounds. Then when Adesanya is like a gassed dead man, then you can maybe like see what you can do with that left hook. But I felt like it was such a winnable fight for him if he had just not. I cannot get over it.
His
I
game
really
plan.
can't get over it.
If he stuck with his game plan.
But like his game plan, I feel like what was this rush? What was the rush? I don't get it, man.
Yeah,
really
his hands were completely down. Like Izzy saw that and right away was like, all right, I'm gonna fucking go for it.
I feel like that's one of the most disappointing performances ever, just because like it had so much potential, you know?
Yeah, that would have been a great fight too.
I mean, it was good
If
while
it
it
kept
lasted.
going, it would have been a good fight. A lot of people I see saying Cejudo is not going to beat Aljo. Yeah,
I
he will.
honestly am starting
He
to
will.
think so too. Like I'm starting to think that if I could just see Aljo like just beating Cejudo and submitting him and calling himself the bantamweight goat, and Joe Rogan saying he's the goat too.
I don't know if I can see that because I think Cejudo. I don't think he's gonna be able to get taken down by Aljo.
The thing is,
And I
everyone
think
thinks about Cejudo like he's this John Jones because he's associated with him, but at the same time, like he's lost, bro. This guy's taken L's.
But this
And
guy,
this
he's
guy,
also
now
he's
he's
a
fighting a
great.
bigger dude, and I'm starting to think about the striking, and I'm starting to think like, wait a second. I know he beat Demetrius Johnson, but it was close, and that was a while ago. What are his other wins? Like Marlon Moraes? I don't know if Marlon Moraes is like necessarily better in a 5-round fight on the feet than Cejudo. And yeah, or and also like I mean Aljo. Also Aljo gasses. Like I just feel like it makes sense that Cejudo would win, but I'm starting to think that the size, the reach, the output, the submission threat, like I feel like it might really be a nightmare for Henry. And who knows, maybe Aljo all of a sudden is going to have power for the first time in his career.
I don't know. I think Pseudo stuffs the takedowns and finishes him on the feet. Honestly, I just think Aljo has a lot of like holes in his striking, and I think Cejudo is going to exploit those. That's what I honestly think will happen. But the time off. But though, if Aljo takes him down, it's done.
This guy says, name 5 guys at middleweight that beat Izzy. I need to cope. Okay, let's think. Whitaker could maybe beat him. Khamzat definitely beats him. Pereira can definitely beat him. So that's 3 guys off the bat that we know can have a chance of beating him for sure. Those guys, I mean, Pereira's literally knocked him out the last time. Whitaker got robbed in the last one. Whitaker's been getting better. And then Chimaev is an easy choice. There's really no one else, though. Maybe Joe Piper.
No, I don't know. What about Bo Nickel?
Maybe Bo Nickel if he can take, but that fight, by the time it would happen, it's like Izzy won't even be champion.
Shavkat if he moves up.
Shavkat if he moves up. Yeah, like those kinds of guys, but
yeah,
5 is not going to happen.
Middleweight's a bad division. Like it's a little bit different.
Honestly, I can't believe like Costa is ranked. Like that's just so pathetic. Yeah. I feel like I, you know, I don't know, man. I feel like I could be more.
Who wins, Duplessis or Costa? I think Costa beats Duplessis.
I honestly think Duplessis beats him.
No.
Yeah, man, I do. Really? I don't see any. I think that Duplessis is pound for pound. I bet he hits harder than Costa. Like I bet Costa. I bet Costa does not hit as hard. He has a shorter reach. He's not as dangerous on the ground. He's good. He can grapple, but he doesn't really do it that much. And I actually think he has a better. I think that Duplessis has a better gas tank. As crazy as that sounds.
And Costa?
Yeah. I think he beats him.
I don't know if he's got a better gas tank. I mean, Duplessis got gassed after a round. Costa went 5 rounds with Vittori, who's not great, but he still went 5 rounds.
I guess that was Salt Lake City. We're gassed. So
Yeah, Salt Lake's. That was the only time he really showed bad gas tank. Then
do you want to react to some? Oh wait. No, before we react to some videos, you want to talk about some of the other fights? Like, what did you think of what other reactions you have last night? Did you think there was anything? Did you think Yanez got derailed? Like, were you shocked by him getting KO'd by Font? Because I didn't think Font was gonna have that kind of power.
Yeah, I was shocked with how hittable he was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And how bad his chin was, honestly. You know what I mean?
But like his chin's been that honestly shocked me, to be honest.
I don't know if it
His
was
chin held up throughout his career.
It could have just been his defense. It could have just been his defense, honestly. You know, I think he just has really shocked me how bad his defense was. Like, yeah, I thought if Font was gonna win that fight, it would be by a decision for sure.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
I think the hype train is derailed 100%. Like, I think that there's no argument about it. And I think he's gonna go back to fighting scrubs like Tony Kelly. You know.
This guy said, I hate to say it, but Izzy has GOAT potential right now. I see him beating everyone with relative ease except for Chimaev. But you can't have GOAT potential if you've lost to Pereira, you've lost to Jan. There are question marks about other fights, and you're 100% going to lose to Chimaev. Like he would have to do so much more. He would have to. He's not even top 10 right now.
I mean, if we're talking Anderson Silva, I mean that's still a chance, but like in terms of being a GOAT, no, because like you gotta look at it like with John Jones, there's not like a guy where like we were like, oh, he if he doesn't fight this guy, you know what I mean? Like it's just just not how it worked with John Jones or anybody, George St. Pierre. You know what I mean? A guy in the division that they're like can't beat. You know what I mean? That's just they beat everybody. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he can't be the GOAT. 100% losing to Chimaev is crazy. I mean, I don't know if it's like 100%. Like I give Izzy like a 1% chance, maybe.
I give him like a 10% chance. That's it.
You think 10%?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I mean, listen, if Chimaev can't submit Izzy in the first 2 rounds and he gasses, like then Izzy could definitely take over.
He's not gonna gas. Izzy's gonna be doing something he's not used to doing, the wrestling. So if anything,
but the thing is, I feel like Izzy still has a proven gas tank, and Chimaev, we don't know what he looks like in the 4th and 5th after hard wrestling, because the Gilbert Burns fight, he didn't hard wrestle for the whole time up until the 3rd round. Like he got tired with the striking, and I feel like that's the chance. That's the chance if Adesanya can stuff the takedowns and survive in the later rounds, that's his chance to run away with it by decision. I'd pick him if he did win. I'd pick him to win by decision.
You pick Izzy?
If he did win, I wouldn't I wouldn't pick him with a knockout. I'd pick him with a decision.
I just think Izzy would be doing something he's not used to doing, though, the wrestling. You know what I mean? Like Chimaev's gonna take Izzy down. Like at some point, he's going to. Like that would tire a kickboxer like
Izzy. And Izzy has been taken down a lot throughout his career. It's just that he's gotten up. He's good at getting up. And the thing is, that's not going to happen. This guy said, bro, gas 2 rounds with Burns. Izzy would definitely gas. I mean, that's striking. But the thing is, striking is it's easier to gas out in grappling. Like Khamzat striking, like for strikers, grappling is harder. But for grapplers like Merab always makes jokes about how striking is easy. Striking is not something that is going to gas out like Merab Dvalishvili, but if anything, it's going to be the grappling. And same with Chimaev. That pace that he puts on guys, like we don't know if he can keep it up for 3 rounds. That's the question mark right there. And I don't think that I can't bank on him. If Izzy survives and you told me that the fight's going to last until the 5th round, it's going to go to decision, I wouldn't mind Adesanya winning that fight. I'm not saying I'd pick him. I could see Chimaev winning a decision too, but he has a chance. I definitely would pick Khamzat to destroy him in the first. Like, I think that 80% chance Khamzat submits him.
Yeah, I mean, I just can't see like Izzy gets up from all these wrestlers, but these guys who he's getting up from don't like have the submission game that Chimaev has. And like I don't know if he could really be on the ground with Chimaev without getting submitted. I can't really see it. And I think if it doesn't happen the first time, it's gonna happen the second time or third time. Like he's not gonna be able to be on the ground with Chimaev. Like I don't even think that. I think the first time he gets submitted, like I think when Chimaev gets into the ground, he's gonna get submitted. Like he gave his back to Whitaker, and Whitaker's not even close to the grappler that Chimaev is.
Yeah.
We haven't seen him go past. Chimaev's got. Why are we we think that Chimaev is a bad gas tank because we're basing off one fight? Like I think that's a little crazy. But I mean, he hasn't fought much since then, so it does make sense. But still,
Yeah.
if Izzy was less thirsty, you'd be praising him. Izzy's cocky. Like it's not even like it's just that. Like it's like
his fight
just
style sucks
cocky.
too. It has nothing to do with the zestiness. It has
He's
everything to do with everything. Like it has to do with like a big thing is his fans. Here's like five reasons. It's not one thing. It's his he's a piece of shit and he's a sore winner like he did last night. He's very disrespectful. All right, that's one. Number two, the media and the UFC and everyone that's involved with the UFC, they hype this guy up way too much. Three, the fans. The fans hype him up way too much, and it's annoying. And they don't recognize that Izzy's had some shitty performances, and he can be dog shit sometimes. Number four, Izzy is also that zesty guy, and we don't like that. Number five, like boring ass fights, bro. Like straight up. There's a bunch of reasons why people don't like him.
Yeah, people forget. People forget that he's literally out of all of his. Let's look at all of his title fights. He's had 3 good, four when he
Forget
lost.
the title shots.
I mean,
Forget the title fights. Even he's had dog shit like regular fights on the come up. Like his fight with Tavares was whack. His fight with Vettori 1 was whack. Like a lot of his fights are actually like just straight up shit throughout his whole career, and he's not a fun fighter to watch.
That's with this fighting style, his cockiness, and just being super disrespectful, stuff like that. Like I mean, it's obviously the zestiness is a bit annoying, but like there's just more reason than just that. So
do you want to react to some like of these post-fight speeches? Because I haven't seen any of them.
Yeah, sure. I just want to know how do you
like present. I feel like I could hold on. Let me see if I can go on YouTube.
Are you able to add one?
I don't know if I am. I think you have to go to present and then you have to open up another tab on YouTube.
Present.
Yeah, you have to open up YouTube first. Yeah. And then what video should we react to?
Oh, I just shared my screen, yeah.
Should we do the Adesanya interview?
Yeah, we could do the Adesanya interview. Let me just I just want to make sure I have nothing behind the screen.
Or should we do like some Jesse on Fire shit? Because Jesse on Fire made a whole video about it. I don't know. Or should we do
we could do
Dana White? Maybe we could do Dana White. I feel like that'd be good for the business talk.
Yeah, okay.
Let's do the Dana White because I haven't seen that, and I feel like it's always good to hear Dana talk. And it's
Oh fuck! Why can't I? Sorry guys, I'm trying to allow the apps between. I'm having a bit of a problem with this. I'm having a problem with showing my screen. One. Share screen. Okay, yeah, let's do it. All right. Can you guys see the screen? All right.
Yeah.
YouTube. All right. What Dana? Want to see Dana White?
Yeah, Dana White, Mac Life.
Or all right, guys. I mean, it's a long video, but
all right, let's do it.
Let's give it.
And real quick, whenever we want to chime in, just pause it. Because then, yeah. But I can't hear it right now. You have to turn up the volume.
The fact that Izzy should give his money to like one of the other fighters with 50K.
Really? Wait, so I can't hear Dana. You have to turn. I think it's muted.
What's up, Lucas?
I can't hear it. You got to turn up the volume.
What's up?
You have to turn up the volume. I can't hear Dana White.
You can't hear the oh,
No,
you can't hear it?
I can't hear it.
Okay.
Dober
Last gate there
Drickus
was,
Pavlovich.
11
Here we go.
So unbelievable. When you think that last time we came here, we did a gate of 446,000, and now we just beat Madison Square Garden. So I've been saying this all week. Miami is like Miami reminds me of LA 10 years ago. This place is booming. I'm sure you felt it when you're. Well, I'm sure a lot of you are from here, but those of you that aren't, I mean, every restaurant is packed till midnight, 1 a.m. People out in the streets. It's just like this place is as cool and as hot and as incredible as ever. It was a really. I'm glad we came here. It was a cool experience. John Morgan.
I was gonna say, so when you said at the press conference, "Hey, we'll be coming back," I mean, do you think this is like an annual type destination for you now?
Yeah, we're in. We're coming to Miami. This place is such a different place than the last time I was here. Obviously, I'm assuming a lot of this was built up, during COVID and all the stuff that went on here. It's just this place is at a whole nother level. It's incredible.
Wow.
A lot to talk about with the featured fights, but I just want to ask you real quick about Chase Sherman. Do you have an update on his condition or exactly what happened there?
Did Chase Sherman not fight?
No. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Sick. He was sapping a couple times, and I think he ate something bad, is from what I heard. Don't quote me though, because I don't know for sure.
Right. Fair enough. Obviously, amazing result in the main event. Israel Adesanya champion again. Thrilling second round, especially. I mean, just tension. I guess talk about the fight overall, what you thought in that win.
Yeah, I mean, it was an absolute war. Israel Adesanya, I was saying this coming into this fight. I mean, this guy never turns down a fight. When it came time to fight Pereira, he was ready. Let's do it. I want to fight 3 times. I only want to fight the best. He lost. He was ready for an immediate rematch. I mean, this kid is, and people were asking, in interviews leading up to this fight, do you think he's messed up mentally and do you think he's in his head? And I did not think that, because listen, a lot of these guys, a lot of shit is talked in public, like, oh, I want this fight, and then behind the scenes, it's a whole nother ball game. Israel Adesanya is not that guy. Israel Adesanya will fight anybody, anywhere, anytime. And the guy likes to fight 3 times a year, even though he has the
Khamzat
and start making that really big money. I'll fight 2 times, then it goes down to 1 time, and you know how it goes. You've seen it, but not this kid. He's special. He's different.
Emphatic victory tonight. What do you think? I mean, a great rivalry between these two, right? It was a great storyline. Is there unfinished business now? Like, do they need to do it again to settle the UFC trilogy, or what are your thoughts?
Honestly, I think that Pereira probably moves to 205 after this fight. He's a monster. I know that he still had like 2 pounds.
He's trying to protect Izzy.
There's like an hour left of the weigh-in. So,
Exactly.
And yeah, I mean, I'm not saying he's moving to 205, but I would assume he is. You guys can ask him himself, but
saying that he is.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Co-main event, Gilbert Burns came into enemy territory, got an impressive win. He was here just before you and says, hey, I want to be the backup for the next title shot. In fact, he didn't say I want. He said I demand. I'm not asking. I'm telling you. Normally, you like attitudes like that.
I love that.
Do you put him in that position?
Yeah, I love that. Why not? Deal. You got a deal.
Nice. Gilbert got it done. And then I guess last thing, I want to ask you about Kevin Holland. I saw he was talking to you. I mean, no surprise, he's talking to you during the fight, after the fight. But it just seemed like a weird week all around. That kind of didn't want us talking to him about other fights. Well, I guess what happened with Kevin Holland? What happened to him?
Well, the reason I didn't want you guys talking to him about other fights is, guys, we're fucking 2 days before a fight. He's not fighting Jorge Masvidal. Whatever they got into, first of all, it creates shit backstage and at the hotels, right? When you guys ask them questions like that and they say something, we still got 2 days until the fight, and these guys run into each other backstage and everywhere else, and it's so disrespectful to their opponent. There's an opponent sitting up there that they're going to fight, and I just hate that shit. I get it. You want your fucking clicks or whatever it is you guys want to get, your little fucking moment that you can post.
Man.
Let's
put the Izzy. All right, we'll watch some of this. We'll skim through this a bit.
$69 US Special Forces device turns men into beasts. This Marine Corps officer is bringing.
Ah,
No fucking generic bullshit questions. Ask me some.
Yeah, this is what I meant.
That'll make me
Wait,
want
hold
to
on.
answer.
wow. Fuck Adesanya.
Make it,
No fucking generic bullshit questions.
Wait, hold on.
make it.
No fucking generic bullshit questions. Ask me some real shit that'll make me want to answer you. If not, I'll just go next.
Well, the
Adesanya's a
outpouring of
complete
emotion that we
dickhead.
saw in the cage was pretty special from you. Can you
Guy
play the
thinks he's
words?
better than
Real.
everyone
I'm
else.
just- well, I meant every word I said. Like leading up to this fight, fuck. If I didn't know me, I wouldn't believe in me. Oh, this guy already beat this guy 3 times. Oh my god, how's he gonna do it? And I told you I'm locked in. I'm coming for the kill.
He said, if
I'm
I didn't
watching,
know
so
me, I wouldn't
did
believe
that,
in
and I
me.
just wanted
Yeah.
to show
So
people the
don't be
power
mad at
behind,
everyone
like,
that I
in the
picked
dirt.
against him. He's saying
You
it
know,
himself.
what you can do, no matter what, no matter if they count you out. I watched too much anime, too much fucking, seen too many montages when the guy Rock Lee gets knocked down and has to fall. Guy Sensei has to fight back up and then fight through adversity. You know, you never stay down. Wasn't a Rock? Even Mike Angle was.
Dude,
beating
I
Rocky
really want Adesanya to
3,
get
4, 5, 6,
submitted
7
by
in the house
Khamzat.
all week. So I know you get knocked down 7 times, get back up 8.
But as mentally strong as you are, were there any moments along the way where it creeped into your, like a little bit of doubt creeped in? You thought maybe this guy just has my number for some reason.
That's human. That's human. I guess that's the human animal.
Human
It normally
nature.
happens, but I just know
Yeah.
myself. You know yourself. If you know yourself, no one else can tell you who you are. So I'm able to shut that out real quick. Most people just can't do that. They let that negative self-talk sit in there and starts to weigh down on them. But I've been through too much in my life to be able to let this kind of thing weigh me down. So whenever that little dirty tries to creep in, I tell her shut the fuck up, and I keep going.
Tense opening round, tactical. I know you said you wanted to put the pressure on him. How did you feel about the first round?
It went quick. I was surprised. I thought it was 3 minutes. But yeah, I was on, bro. I was fucking on from the get-go, and I was hunting him down, and he wasn't comfortable with that.
Was that a decision on your point to really turn it up in round 2? Obviously, the volume increased quite a bit.
I just knew I could hunt him down. Every time I fight this guy,
Dude, Pereira was
Fight,
literally
fight,
beating this
fight.
man.
I always have him in the early rounds.
Always have him in the early rounds. You were getting
Come
outstruck.
back in the later rounds. So this time I said, I'm not giving him room to breathe. I'm going to suffocate him.
But he's right
Yeah,
about
I
that.
embrace the dark side. I embrace the
You
darkness.
just
So I
had a
can show
good
him the
punch.
light.
Nice. Last thing for me. No, you said you were not thinking past this moment at
I
all.
am not thinking. I literally
let
don't.
yourself start
No,
thinking yet?
nope. I'm still drinking. I ain't thinking.
Ah, he's
Izzy,
drinking.
obviously, this week with the engaged stuff, there's been a link with yourself and Muhammad Ali. I know that's one that you've loved
Oh,
throughout
dude,
your
fuck
career.
Yeah.
the
Is it
sponsorship.
cool
Who
that
gives a
you
fuck
had
about
your
his
own
little
rope-a-dope moment?
sponsorship with
You know,
Muhammad
you're
Ali?
against a big punch, you lean
Brother.
back and fire the right
The
hand.
possum. So I'll tell you, he's fucking good with those leg kicks. And I was like, again, literally, I think in the first round, I was like, fuck, again.
Pereira's some
He
of the
can't
best leg
catch my
kicks in
leg.
the
Like, it's
UFC.
so quick because I was ready for it. I was ready to catch him.
That's what I do.
And he's so sneaky with that. I'm gonna learn that off him actually. But then
Learn him off.
yeah,
Like
I
China.
changed the tactics up a
Yeah.
bit.
What you're gonna do is
And I listened to my corner
That's
and I
maybe
trusted my
easier.
instinct. But there was a moment when I was visualizing this fight, I was like, if I get the chance, and when I get the chance, George Foreman, Muhammad Ali, phantom punch, would I just let him slide? But I was like, nah, fuck that. He wouldn't have done the same to me. He'll fucking come for the kill. So the honorable thing I could have done was put him out of his misery. And after that rope-a-dope moment, I saw him lying flat on the ground, frozen like Elsa.
Yeah, he would have. I mean, Pereira would have done the
You
same
also
thing.
obviously had quite an emotional
Yeah.
celebration where you fired not 1 but 3 arrows into him. I wonder if there's a significance to there being the number of 3 arrows. And then I'm sure you sort of motioned to someone in the crowd and took a little dive.
Oh no, I'm petty, bro. I remember. So the first time he knocked me out in Brazil, his son came into the ring and then started to just lie dead next to me. And I'm like, you fucking little asshole. I'll whoop your ass if your dad don't do it for you. But then yeah, I looked for his kid and I pointed at him and I saw him and I was like, hey. Just to remind him. I saw him backstage. We're cool. He's a great champion. He's a warrior. He is his story, bro. I mean that.
Piece of shit for that, though.
I'm the antagonist in his story. He's a fucking
Acting like he's up 3 to
beast,
1.
man. Coming from where he's come from, the adversities he's been through in his life to get to where he's gotten now and taking me.
If this was an anime, that kid now becomes a fighter and comes.
Bro,
All right.
A couple more questions. What was the significance of the blue shorts? Usually we see you in green on Champions Cup.
bro, next time might be fucking pink shorts. You know me. I'm a colorful guy. I think it was 16th March. I texted Tim. I was like, I don't want to wear something that doesn't go.
All right.
And then I started to channel Nipsey a little bit. Kept on saying,
Are you
Everyone
skipping to
else can stay on
something?
the sidelines they used to.
I'm just like
When it's time, I'm frontline every time.
I'm
I
trying to
saw a
find
nigga.
a certain spot.
And last one from me. Well, it's 1-1 in MMA. There should be a trilogy.
I
but-
don't keep score. I settle them.
But I'm gonna
Now
say-
it's
Lucky-
settled.
Lucky
Look,
Pereira.
I gave him a fast track to the belt. You know, I could have said, nah, fuck no. Who was he fought? Like, he fought one top 5. Nah, but, you know, he did well, fought some all right guys, and beat the fucking Strickland. I was like, okay, fine. There's no one else. But also, I was looking for that challenge. The guy that beat me in kickboxing, I was looking for that challenge. That's why I took that fight. The rematch, I got the immediate rematch because of what I've done in this game. I won the belt against Kevin.
I mean, he's
Defended
true.
against
He's right
Volk,
there.
Romero, Costa.
Yeah, I mean the rematch
Vittori,
made sense.
again, Cannonier. That's 7. My other belt would have 7 fucking gems on it, you know. So I did the hard yards and I earned my fucking rematch.
That's true.
You know, now he's got to do the hard yards if he wants to do that, but I don't think it's gonna, because he go cause problems at 205, and fuck, good luck to everybody else, because he's a motherfucker to deal with. I'll tell you that.
I respect it.
Congratulations.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Oscar.
Israel over here.
Okay.
You're trending on Nigerian Twitter right now.
I should be.
Yeah, definitely.
I want people me. I want
Doesn't
people
need to
me.
say that.
It's, Israel
Ọmọọba.
Mobolaji Odunayo
Like
Oluwafemi Temitayo Owolabi Ọmọ Adesanya.
Mm-hmm. Tell him say.
You're an African champion again.
Look, the 3 kings still exist. Even like I said, with Poitin, no matter what, he's always going to be a champion. A lot of people will try and like write me off and like, oh, you're not the champion anymore. But I was like, bro, they still call me champion.
I think he's going to talk about
And
Drickus. I
I'm
want to
still
hear
the
this.
champion. I still carry myself as a champion. So
yeah, it's
Kamaru Usman, Francis Ngannou, they're still champions. They're always going to be champions no matter what. Once a champion, you're always a champion.
Sport is one thing that unites us in Africa. We had an election recently, and all the three major tribes were factioned. Tonight, you were uniting people. Nigerians were talking about you. The
Yes.
same people who were arguing and fighting each other just last week were talking about you. Talk about
Israel,
how
Bumaye,
important
Israel, Bumaye, Israel, Bumaye, Israel, Bumaye. Look, fuck, I don't want to give this nigga no clout.
Ah,
I want to whoop that. I want to whoop his ass so bad. I want to whoop his ass so bad. I want to do it in South Africa or Nigeria.
wow, what a bitch, dude. We got so offended over that.
But he's got to do work. He's got to do something. Show me.
All he
something.
said was, I breathe
I can
African
whoop
air
that
and all
ass,
this
and I can
shit.
show you history.
He is from
I'll remind you, because you got to choose your words right.
Like, I get
wisely when you
Adesanya
speak.
being upset, but
And
like,
people that's
what's the
come
deal with
before
that?
you, people that paved the way for you. You got to pick your words wisely. You want to try and be a big boy. You want to bamba. You want you with the big boys. You got to choose your words wisely. But I don't want to give him no clout. But if he does work, and I pray to God he keeps winning, I will gladly drag his carcass across South Africa. Wallahi.
you have bambaed on him now. Obviously, you're having a Jack and Coke. I'm sure you're not thinking about your next fight, but you like to fight 3 times a year. When do you think would be the time?
I'm not even thinking of nothing like that. That's the last question, but I'm not thinking of nothing like that right now.
Adesanya beats Duplessis worse than, honestly, like, knowing MMA, Duplessis is the kind of guy to beat Adesanya.
Did Brandon Marshall?
Mother's milk, please. Can I have another one?
No, Izzy.
Hey, Izzy.
For sure.
No, of course. I'm just saying.
Did Brandon Marshall reach out to you yet?
That's my dog. Yeah, he put 100K on me, but I told him, look, shout out to Brandon, shout out to Drizzy, shout out to everybody else that bet on me. But you have to realize, every time I step in that octagon, I put my life on the line. That's the biggest bet on this line. That's the biggest parlay you can make, is put your life on this shit. Because a lot of people don't come back out when they step in there. You know, I don't know how long he was out for, but again, I left him frozen like Elsa. He could have stayed frozen, but I'm glad he melted and came back to life. But yeah, honestly, I'm a betting man too. So shout out to Steak. We're about to make another deal. And
Yeah, Duplessis definitely gets
run that
smoked.
shit up.
I'm just saying, imagine Duplessis like is the guy.
More money.
Your post-fight words were electric, talking about being in that moment. If anybody could just experience just a fraction of
They
that.
overclassed.
Man.
Ah,
I'm
here
happy
it
I
is.
feel right now. I hope people feel this level.
Is he
of
gonna
happiness
talk shit about
once
the
in their life.
reporters?
I really mean that, because honestly, people, I talk to people every day, and it's like, bless me. But
Yeah, you heard that?
yeah, they're so
Let's be.
defeated, you know. So I just want people to feel happy, but I just feel like you're never going to feel that unless you go through the adversity, you go through the trials and tribulations, you know? So, yeah, I really meant every word of what I said.
And my last thing, my friend is in a group chat there saying, when you were in that moment, it was kind of reminiscent of the previous fight where you're against the cage. Are you able to remember what you were thinking in the moment? Like, I'm not going out like
Nah,
that again?
I played possum. I knew my leg was hurt, so I went southpaw, and I was like, I can't keep getting kicked in the leg like this. I was like, he's just fucking good at those leg kicks. I can mimic them, and I've hurt him in the legs as well, but he's so good at them. But then I knew, I was like, this is it. Possum, possum, possum. And then, yeah, I set traps, man. Put him in the genjutsu.
And do you believe in cover jinxes? You were on the cover. You lost. I don't know if you saw this.
I won
EA
when I was
put
on the
him
cover. No, when I was on the cover of the EA, I won. I won that weekend. I shot the cover with Masvidal that weekend.
My bad.
And I won. I beat the Drake curse. I haven't, bro. What did I say? What fucking curse? What I did, I framed the gloves in the wraps, and I wrote on the frame inside what fucking curse, and that was my gift to him because he can buy whatever he wants. But that shit right there, that was priceless. So yeah, I don't do no juju like that. Like my juju is different. You know, I'm a spiritual person. My family always praying for me. My parents always fasting, and they got my back as well. And yeah, we got it done.
Israel in the front.
All right, a few more questions. I gotta go.
After your win, you walked by us on press row and you're yelling,
Type your shit. Everybody type your shit now. I don't know what, bro, I've tuned out from everything. I don't follow no MMA pages really. I just like to, because I'm not as immersed in this game as a fan as I used to. I'm still a fan, but I'm not like following everybody else's career because I'm really doing my own shit in this game, running my own legacy. So yeah, I was just saying, type your shit now, because again, I maintain what I said. I can do your job, you can't do mine. I mean that shit from the bottom of my heart as well. I can really, if I sit down and really immerse myself, I can study. I've done it before, but I just didn't fucking have a publication. But when I was a fan of this game, I studied everybody coming up: BJ Penn, Tyson Griffin, Sean Shirk, Rashad Evans. I can run numbers on what UFCs this happened. Even there was a moment there was fucking Rashad and Machida linking up, and I was like, oh shit, behind the stage, and I was just like, UFC 98. What? Oh my god. And you made me not like you anymore because you beat my boy. But then, yeah, I can do your job. Trust me, but I'm doing my job. So just remember that.
Wow, dude. Wow, dude. Izzy, you couldn't do my job.
Back up. I take
Yeah, like this is everyone's the guy they all love.
Listen, man, I mean, he's right. Like, I couldn't be a fucking, 10-time UFC champion. I'll never know, but most likely not. He's right, bro. He's listen, I think that at the end of the day, he won. The spoils of war go to the victor, and Adesanya he deserves to be really cocky and braggadocious right now because everyone, like, I was shit talking him, and if this was us and we were, coming off of 3 L's and a knockout, like, we would all feel like doing the same thing. So I can't be mad at him for that. I just still don't like the guy, and I still don't like him as champion because, again, if you put him up against anyone that's not Khamzat Pereira, these guys, like, we're not going to have fun fights. Essentially, AKA, we're going to get wins from Izzy, unless it's like maybe Whitaker. But the good thing is he'll fight Khamzat next. He'll probably lose the belt. And yeah.
Yeah, I think he will. I really hope he does. But yeah, we got a good fight card. I mean, it's not a great fight card coming up. We got a decent fight card. Good for a fight night, Kansas City, UFC fight night, Kansas City. I say we break that card down, but mostly the main event, obviously. Should I share my screen again, or should we?
I think I have all the fights here. I think let's just I mean, the main event is really the big fight, right? So Holloway versus Allen.
Yeah, I'm excited for that fight. At first, I thought Allen was gonna be the guy who's gonna finish Holloway, break the unbreakable chin.
Yeah.
But as it goes on, I'm leaning towards Holloway by decision, I think. But at the same time, I think Allen's speed could really mess with Holloway, and So it's a tough decision, but if like my life, I'm so back and forth about this. But if my life depends on it, I'm gonna go with Holloway by decision. What about you?
Same. I'm gonna go with Holloway.
Yeah,
by decision.
I wouldn't be surprised though if Allen wins. I think Allen is real dangerous. He's got tons of speed. He has. It's
I'll be
similar
very
to Volk.
surprised
Like,
if he wins.
You'd be very surprised.
Yeah, because like first of all, he's gonna either have to finish him, which if I would be shocked because I've never seen Holloway get finished, and also if he wins by decision, I'd be shocked that he could win 3 rounds over Holloway in a 5-round fight, just because he has such a low output compared to the guys that have actually beat Holloway, like Dustin Poirier, Volkanovski. Like these guys have really high output, and Arnold Allen doesn't have that power or the output. So it's like, if you don't have that,
That is a good.
how is he going to win this fight?
I mean, he has the speed, but like,
Aldo
he's
has
gonna
speed,
hit Holloway.
you know. Lots of other guys have speed. I feel like it's got to be more than
But
just
also
that.
Max
Yair's got speed, bro.
Holloway. I think Yair, if he fights Holloway again, Yair wins. By the way,
Interesting. Okay, maybe.
I think if they rematch, he wins. They win now. He wins now.
Just for
So
the record, Holloway.
and I also think
this guy said.
I think
wow.
Holloway. I also think Holloway, like, who knows what he's gonna be like after that Volk fight? You know what I mean? That's another thing.
There's an interview dropping with ESPN tomorrow. I'm looking forward to hearing what Holloway has had to say, because the thing is, I saw this really good video and I feel like you should all watch it. Psychology of the Fight is a channel on YouTube. And he said the title of the video is like how Holloway lost before ever fighting in the cage, how he was defeated before he showed up. And I kind of forgot this, but like Holloway after the first Volkanovski fight didn't give so many excuses. But after the second fight, he like did nothing but make excuses on how he thought he won, and 90% of people thought he won. And essentially, he's going to go in there and finish Volkanovski. He took Volkanovski lightly, and we know Volkanovski doesn't take people lightly. Like if Holloway, I think this loss is going to humble him big time. And I think like that loss to Volk was the most serious loss Holloway's taken, and therefore, I think he's going to come back with a big chip on his shoulder. Like really, I really think he is. And I think he's gonna win this fight pretty dominantly, honestly. I feel like Allen's definitely gonna take a round, maybe 2. I cannot see him winning more than 2. I feel like he's gonna break his hand. He's gonna slow down. He's not that big of a guy. Holloway's bigger than him. Allen's strong, but Holloway's bigger. And like, I just don't see how he wins other than winning by decision. And I just feel like you need the output, and you need to have some serious power. And no one has that power right now in that division. It's not like there's no Ngannou in that division. So, like, it's just not going to happen.
I mean, Tapiria's got some pretty good power. I think Tapiria.
Exactly, but Tapiria's got some different power to, like, really deter Holloway. But I feel like Allen, he's got power for 1 round. And, like, it's not even that much. He's not knocking anyone out dead. Like, he's standing TKO Dan Hooker. Like, he's never really put someone's lights out. You know what I mean? So, I feel like I honestly think this is I think Holloway's going to get it done. I feel like it's 80% Holloway. Like I don't see how he loses this one. Because the thing is,
I got Holloway.
Yeah, even with the Merab Yan fight, when I was so confident Yan was going to win, I also like Yan is a slow starter. Like Holloway is not necessarily that slow of a starter, you know, and we know that Allen is not a pace fighter. Like Merab's a pace fighter. A pace fighter versus a slow starter in retrospect, like if you start slow against a pace fighter, that's bad because they just keep building. Holloway keeps building, and this dude ain't a pace fighter. So like I feel like it's going to be a beat down in the 4th and 5th. So I think it's going to be like I think in the later rounds, Allen will be getting hit with like for every 10 shots, Allen will land like 1. That's what I think in the later.
Maybe.
rounds.
I mean, but I think
he's going to get really beat up badly.
For Allen to win, though, it would mean that Holloway's chin is done. But
I don't even think I think he could also win the decision. It's just like he has to show some serious cardio.
He's gonna have to
and heart.
He's gonna have to. I think he's gonna have to knock. I mean, yeah. I don't know how he wins a decision. Honestly, Allen. I don't know
Yeah.
how Allen would win a decision.
And he can't.
because,
I
like, I
can't
don't
bank
think
on him
he has the
knocking this guy
output.
out. So
Yeah, like I don't. Yeah, I mean, I think knockout would be the only way he would win, but it's just hard to really like predict Holloway's chin to be just done without like I mean, yeah, he got beaten up by Volk bad, but like he didn't get dropped, you know,
No.
like he didn't get knocked out. Like
Nope.
it's hard to really like count him out again after losing to Volkanovski, the best guy in the division. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of hard to really like count him out yet. But who knows? I mean, he could if Holloway gets knocked out, I'm not gonna be super surprised, you know. But yeah, no, I'm excited. I think it's gonna be a good fight. That's what I would have to say. I think it's gonna be a really good fight. I'm glad that they're not doing this at the Apex.
I think
This
Holloway
deserves
in a main event, especially in front of fans, I think he's gonna really show out, bro. Because the last main event he had that wasn't against Volk in front of fans was Cater, and like before that it was the no fans, and after that it was the no fans. I think Holloway is really gonna like start to beat this man's ass. I think Allen is not ready for this. I think he's not ready for this moment.
Yeah, I think Allen's a little too cocky too, honestly.
I don't think he's cocky
He
at
strikes
all.
me as a little cocky.
Really, he
You don't
seems
think he's
like
a
the
little
least cocky guy ever, in my opinion.
Really? I feel like, or I don't know. I mean, or maybe just being confident.
Allen does not have a very
I don't know. I just don't think,
personality. He seems like
I
he's
just
always
don't think
unsure of
he's that
himself.
good.
Even
I
I
still
think
think he's
Allen
that
is
great,
just like
honestly.
a very skilled guy, but I just think Holloway is, again, it's such a big step up in competition from Calvin Kattar, and he didn't even fight Calvin Kattar because it was one round. Like other than that, the guy fought like Sadiq Yusuf and Dan Hooker. So like I can't even, and he didn't even.
Yeah, it's hard to really.
Yeah, I really think Holloway's gonna beat this guy's ass. Like Holloway's last close fight was against Yair, and Yair is unreal on the feet, and Holloway still beat him, outdid him, and
Yeah, I mean,
just was able to. I mean, he landed takedowns. Like that's another thing. Holloway, I know Arnold has good grappling, but so does Holloway. I don't think Arnold's taking down Holloway. Holloway has really good takedown defense.
I mean, I don't think either of them are gonna get a takedown. Like, I think they're gonna strike. I think it's gonna be a really good fight. Honest, I think it's gonna be a great fight.
Yeah,
you don't really see Holloway having fights, so I'm super excited. I'm glad there's gonna be fans. I'm a little upset though. I have to say that the Pavlovich event does not have fans because that's a good card.
They should have just combined
Really
that with this card. They should have had that as the co-main.
Yeah, or I mean that co-main main event, whatever. I'm super excited, and then Moicano versus Saruki, and that's at the Apex too, right?
I think so.
Damn. All right, that's not good. We actually have a few other things to talk about before we head out. A couple fights which is booked. Yair versus Volkanovski was confirmed to be on UFC 290. The card that's supposed to be it's International Fight Week card. John Jones versus Stipe is supposed to be on that card, not booked yet, but Volkanovski co-main. I think I'm super excited for that fight. I think Volkanovski should win the fight, but if anybody's gonna knock out Volk, it's gonna be Yair. So I think, but either way, I think it's gonna be a really good fight. But again, maybe not though, because Volk could maybe take Yair down and gas him out, and then in the later rounds,
I think Volk finishes him.
strike
As
him
I
in.
said, I think he finishes him.
I think
Yair's gonna gas, and Yair doesn't have the same toughness that Ortega or Holloway has. So I feel like the last time we saw Volk versus someone that wasn't that on that level of toughness, it was Korean Zombie, and Yair was getting hurt by Emmett. Yair was getting rocked by Emmett, and Yair doesn't have that granite chin. He has a decent chin, not a granite chin. And yeah, he can hurt Volk, but I think Volk is too good. I really don't think Volk is gonna get hurt in this fight. I think he's gonna fuck this guy up. And I think it's gonna be a close first round, 100%. Volk's definitely gonna have to like go through some adversity, but once he doesn't get KO'd, like if he gets past that first and Yair's looking a little like, okay, Volkanovski, I haven't been able to like knock this guy down. He's harder to hit than I expected. And Volk gets his hands on him, then has some grappling exchanges. Like, what's Yair going to look like in the third, fourth, and fifth if it gets there? And I think like if Volkanovski gets on top of this guy, stacks his guard like the way he did to Islam, like the way he did to Ortega, I think it's going to be like a doctor stoppage. I think we're going to, you know what? That's my pick. I'm calling a doctor stoppage before the fifth or fourth round. I think Volkanovski is going to really hurt Yair badly. And like, just I think it's going to be on the ground too. I think he's going to hurt him on the ground, like just tee off on him, ground and pound.
The ground.
Yeah. The thing is, bro, like, I almost feel like Volkanovski is a better MMA grappler than Burns in certain aspects. Like people, again, we see Gilbert Burns like not doing that well on the ground. Like Gilbert Burns is really good at not getting submitted and all that. And I understand he's better than Volkanovski with his overall jiu-jitsu. But when it comes to like mounting off offense and wrestling, like I actually think Volk is super underrated. Because again, we saw this guy, like he had more success on the ground than Ortega did in their fight. And he did well against Islam too, which is pretty big. And he beat up Islam in the 5th, which is also big. So I feel like he's really gonna, you copied Guru's prediction. Brody, I've been saying Volkanovski was going to beat up Yair ever since the fight was announced. It's not that hard of a stretch to say that if it's a doctor stoppage. Like, it's really not that hard of a stretch. I really think that Volkanovski is going to beat him up on the ground. And the reason I think doctor stoppage is a good pick is because, like, we see a lot of doctor stoppages in this featherweight division, bro. We've seen it before in the featherweight, bantamweight divisions where guys are just cut up. And, like, I could just see it. Ortega 2.0. And Yair doesn't have Ortega's heart, and he doesn't have Ortega's gas tank. He has heart, but it's like, I think Volkanovski is just a little too different, man. And I think Yair could KO him. I think I don't bank on it.
Yeah, I think Yair. I mean, Volkanovski. He's gonna be a huge favorite, by the way.
Like, what does Volk have to worry about? An arm guard and a head kick.
Volk doesn't even worry about submissions. I mean, I think Volk, the only thing he needs to worry about is the head kicks.
The head kicks, yeah, and like, you know, Yair throwing some wild shit. The speed, like I feel like
that's all. I mean,
so good at just you have to be able to do it all, and I think like Yair can't necessarily, like he's got submissions, but it's like you have to be like Ilia Tapuri. You have to be like amazing chin, amazing gas tank, really good power, good wrestling, like strong. You have to have that kind of build to beat Volk. And I just think Yair's. To be fair, has Volk fought anyone that's like, well, Max, I was going to say, has he fought anyone that's tall? Like, I guess he fought Max, but he hasn't really fought anyone that throws this many kicks. You know, Ortega throws kicks, not the same as Yair, so. But then again, has Yair fought anyone?
Not like that.
Yair's never fought anyone like Volk. No. Emmett, like that dude's like I said, Emmett's shit compared to Volk.
Trash. He's trash, yeah. I think Yair has a chance to KO him, and like I could kind of see it, but like I think the pick is Volk. You know, I think Volk 50-45. That's my prediction, or 49-46.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with a 50-45, 49-46, or finish on the ground.
Yeah, I think I don't see I just can't see. You really could like nobody. How can it's so hard to see Yair winning more than a round. Let's just say that, or even winning a round against Volk. It's just I just don't know if I can see Yair doing that. So I think if Yair wins, it's gonna pretty much be a knockout. That's his only way of winning. It's
Volk has won his last 18 rounds of featherweight. The last round he lost was against Max Holloway in their rematch. The second round.
So he's gonna have to somehow just get a crazy knockout. And I just can't bank on that.
I think Volk. I think this win from Izzy, even though I claim that Volk isn't actually friends with Izzy because he's just too cool for that. I think that Volk seeing Izzy win, if he is friends with him, is going to motivate him to get it done over a striker and Yair, a dangerous striker like that.
I don't think he needs motivation. I just think Volk is just way better than Yair, honestly.
Yeah,
you know.
But I feel a sense of I feel a confidence in picking Volk always, just because I know that he doesn't stop trying to get better. You know, like a lot of other guys they just do everything in their training camp. Like they'd chill and then they train in their training camp. Volkanovski does it year round. Like he's training. He has a training camp for a training camp. So I think Volk's going to get it done. Yeah,
I think Volk's going to get it. I'm going to pick 50-45 Volk.
Yeah.
Dude, I could also see that.
If Yair beats Volk, I'm going to be so depressed.
I could. Out of the guys who fought Volk, I think Yair is the most dangerous. You know,
on the feet, or Islam is pretty goddamn dangerous. He's.
But that's at 145.
Yeah, 145.
At 145.
Yeah.
Yair is the most dangerous of all the guys Volk has fought, but still, he's there's one way of him winning, and I can't pick on that.
This guy said, "Do you think Volk would do well at 170?"
No, I think he's a bit too small. I think
Yeah,
he's
for
a bit
for
too
most of those
small.
matchups, he's too small.
Yeah, I think he's too. Yair would be an entertaining champion. Yeah, he would be, but at the same time, like I
He's
don't
been
know.
that
I
active,
mean, I
bro.
think yeah, he's not active. I think Volk is very entertaining too. So it's not like we're like saving this division by Yair being champion. You know, like
Yeah.
it's not like the middleweight division.
Yeah,
So
Volk is active as fuck,
yeah, he'd
bro.
be
Volk's literally active all the time.
yeah, Volk's super active. So like, I don't want to change. I think activity is like has such
Is
a
the most
part in like
important. Is honestly
entertaining
one of the most
champions.
important aspects of a good champion.
Yeah, and I think like maybe Yair would have a good fight here and there,
Yeah.
but like he would fight once
Yeah, I feel like he'd
maybe
fight
twice
once
a
a
year.
year,
Like
twice a year max.
Volkanovski's the guy who
3
Volk
times.
like wants to fight 3 times a year. Like
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like most champions don't want to do it. Volk and Izzy only. Like
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So gotta respect them for that. But Izzy's boring in his fights and point fights. That's why he can fight 3 times a year. Volk just loves fighting, you know. You also he was too small for Islam too, who fights at 170.
No, that's what I mean.
Islam's
Like,
never fought at
I
170.
agree. I feel like he could beat. I feel like he could definitely take guys out at 170, but not like the top guys. I think the only guy he maybe beats is Colby, but I think he would like have a really hard time with Burns.
That's a tough.
I think he would have a really hard time. Well, actually, like I think he would have a hard time with Burns, and he would have a hard time with these guys.
Burns would probably knock out Volk.
And yeah, maybe I think so. That's a good chance. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I'm saying like I really think, but hold on. Do you think Volk could beat? Do you think who's like a shit? Do you think Volk could maybe beat like a Ponzinibbio? I think he beats Ponzinibbio, bro. Like he beats some of these motherfuckers, man. He beats a D-Rod. He beats a D-Rod, right? Like without a doubt. I think he beats Kevin Holland, dude.
Yeah. No.
Dude, I'm telling you, he takes him down and mauls him.
No. If Kevin Holland lands on Kevin Holland, if he lands on Volk, he's done.
Yeah, but Kevin Holland's not good enough to do it.
No,
if Volk lands though. If Volk lands though, ooh, bro.
Volk landing wouldn't do shit to Kevin Holland. Like,
no, I know.
No, not Holland. I think Volk, if he could beat some like those kind of guys. But Colby, I think Colby suffocates Volk and just like.
Yeah, I disagree, man. I think Volk suffocates Colby by the cardio. No, I agree. Like Colby. Hold on. I really think like on the feet, like Colby is not giving Volk the same issues as Islam.
Oh no, Colby's bad on the feet.
And so my point is, Islam's more dangerous on the ground, and like Volk doesn't have to fear.
But the style, like
that takedown, like he does with Islam.
Colby gives more pressure than Islam. Like
he does.
Like, Islam isn't like a pressure,
and that's why I think Volk.
And I think
Volk drops him. I think he catches him and
drops him. Volk drops Colby.
Yeah, dude, he dropped Islam.
But that was at 155.
But again, Volk fucks people up.
We saw Pereira.
He's an awesome man.
Shit.
Volk, dude. I guarantee you, Volk would weigh less than 10 pounds than Colby in the offseason. Colby's 10 pounds bigger than Volk max.
Dude, I can't see Volk getting dropping Colby.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, Volk would drop Colby.
I don't know. I think that's a little. I think Colby would be able to pressure him against the cage, and
like I could see Colby winning for sure, but I think Volk is such a beast with his card. Like he's perfect everywhere except for like I think the only thing Volk is not perfect at is number one, his power is not amazing. It's good. And number two, it's I guess his submissions. Like he obviously doesn't have like this crazy submission game. But other than that, he's like the perfect fighter. Respect Masvidal. Dude's been fighting. Yeah, to be honest, Masvidal's retirement, I was actually sad watching him retire.
Yeah.
As much as
I was too. I don't even really
go.
Like I don't like hate Masvidal. Like I've never hated him. Like it's just like he just was a bit of like a bitch with the whole Colby thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like and just some other stuff. But like I don't like hate him. Like, you know, I mean he's great for the sport. Like, you know, so it's a bit sad that he's gone. One of the top 2 biggest draws in the UFC is now gone. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's a bit tough, or top 3, whatever it is. Yeah, I'm a bit upset about that. But yeah, speaking of the featherweight division, also Josh Emmett versus Tapiria was booked. And I honestly want to know something.
I just saw this. Gilbert Burns just said that Jorge Masvidal 100% like greased and like used lotion to
Yeah,
cheat.
I saw that.
That's pathetic.
I saw
that Gilbert
that.
Burns is saying that. I feel like that's an excuse for not submitting him.
Yeah, why do you say that now? Like, you know what I mean? Like, even if that's true, like, don't make up like any, like, just don't say anything. You know what I mean? The guy just retired. Like,
Dude,
you know
I
what I
honestly
mean?
feel like
it's-
I honestly feel like Gilbert Burns he's very good, but I always like ragging on his grappling because people get mad about it. Like he cannot finish.
I mean, it's
people
also
with
true. Like, why if he's this jujitsu guy, like, why can't he? If he's this elite jujitsu guy, why is he not like submitting everyone? Like, when he gets him to the ground, like Charles Oliveira, when he gets like everyone to the
Yeah,
ground,
Charles,
he
if he mounts
submits them,
people,
like,
they're done.
why can't Gilbert do the same thing if he's so elite on the ground? Like,
Yeah.
like that's like it's true. Like, like he's definitely is better. He's got this great like defense, but like
Yeah.
I don't know. You just got to have an all-around jujitsu game to be like the jujitsu specialist that people say he is. So yeah, and I mean you're right for criticizing him on that, especially after last night not being able to submit Masvidal. Like that was, he had plenty of opportunity. But yeah, the light featherweight division. You want to know something? I actually think Josh Emmett is a harder matchup for Tapiria than Ortega would have been.
I could see
Believe
it
or not.
because the height and the power. I think Tapiria would just absolutely murder Ortega. I think
he would just. Yeah, I think Emmett just has the chance of knocking out anybody he goes against.
Yeah.
I think that's just that's dangerous, But I still think Tapiria wins. I think Tapiria will probably I honestly think he may submit him. I could see him submitting Emmett.
I could see that too. I just think Emmett is so overhyped because of that power. Like, who the fuck is he knocked out with one shot other than Mirsad Bektik? I know he drops people, but bro, it's really just the power. Like, the guy is carried by power 100%, and he's not.
The guy's a terrible. He's carried by power in his right hand.
And he's not durable.
It's only his right hand.
A lot of these big power punchers are tough and durable. Emmett is the opposite. Emmett is not that. He used to be tough, but he's no longer tough and durable. Like, he gets broken so easily. Like, his body falls apart so easily. So I just think it's going to be a walk in the park. So, yeah.
You think Tapiria 50-45?
No, I think Tapiria finishes him. I think he finishes him in 2 rounds. I think he knocks him out or submits him in 2. I really just Emmett literally looks like he's eating through feeding tubes at the end of his fights. So I can't pick him. Yeah, Emmett is a terrible the fact that Yair got a belt off of Emmett is pathetic. It's crazy that he actually got a belt off of Emmett. Emmett's so
there's
bad,
a guy who's
really shit.
Yeah, but again, yeah, he does have the power though, which is what is tougher than Ortega. Because what would Ortega do to Tapiria?
He has to submit him, bro. Or I mean, he could knock him out. He could. But the thing, we don't know what that chin looks like. I mean, Bryce Mitchell don't have no power in his hands, and we know that. And we know that Tapiria has gotten almost slumped at lightweight against Jai Herbert, UFC London last year. He got almost knocked out with a head kick.
But that was from a fucking hard head kick. That would have.
Yeah, no, for sure, it definitely was. But I'm just saying, man, this guy might not have Holloway's eating that head kick. I'm just saying, his chin ain't perfect. He could get KO'd. Ortega has power in his hands. I want to see it. I honestly feel really bad for Ortega because he's so he has entertaining fights. He's such a good style to watch, and he's tough, and he has heart. That's the thing. Ortega's got heart. And he's got finishing ability at anywhere the fight goes, but we just never. He's so riddled with injuries, so it kind of sucks. He's always injured, and he looks fat and depressed.
He always gets hurt.
He really looks like
he also doesn't know that. He also doesn't know to string it all together.
Yeah. Or he's not good enough. I don't even think it's that. I think in general he's just not good enough. He's not better than Volk or Holloway, and he never will be.
You know what's crazy? I was looking back, and he was the slight favorite against Holloway.
Yeah, I remember that. And Holloway started. I remember when he had a box mid-fight.
I remember when he fought Volk, and I made a lot of money on Volk that night because I remember Volk wasn't even that big of a favorite. I'm like, what? So I put a ton of money on Volk, and I won. So I was happy about that. But yeah, no, I think Tapiria. I mean Emmett, and then you do Ortega maybe. Like I don't know. I think Tapiria. I think they're just kind of slowing it down a little bit with him because they still have Yair fighting for the belt. If Allen wins, they have Allen too. Like there's a big line of people who want to fight for the belt. So I think that this is going to slow it down a little bit because they're definitely not getting a title shot after beating Emmett though. So
No.
he's going to need one more fight after that,
Or
maybe
two.
against Holloway. You think if he beats Emmett, he's got one more fight? I think.
I mean, logic. Like for me, that would be better for two. But knowing the UFC, knowing how I really think Emmett, this whole Emmett thing, like Josh Emmett is the fake number one, number two contender. He's the fake gatekeeper. Is the way I look at him. Emmett is a fraud gatekeeper, and the UFC uses Emmett's power in his hand as an excuse to say whoa, he got past Josh Emmett when Josh Emmett's actually just not even a top 10 featherweight in my opinion. So when I hear about anyone beating Emmett, if it's not for a bullshit interim belt, I'm thinking, yeah, I mean, he's still a couple fights away. But knowing how the UFC is setting all these things up, they're using Emmett to create fake contenders, and I don't like it. I think these fraud. I think a bunch. You know what? Yeah. I think we're going to see a bunch of frauds in this division because of Josh Emmett.
Because of Josh.
Yeah, Josh Emmett's creating frauds, dude. Literally.
Where's Mosar Evloev?
Injured. That's he pulled out of the Bryce Mitchell fight, and then Bryce had to reschedule for Ilya.
This guy never fights. That was
I know he doesn't. His last fight was last May or June.
Dude,
it was on the Jairzinho Rosenstrike and Volkov card. I don't know.
What is he
Injured.
doing?
It's the same thing with most of these guys.
I want to see. You know what? I actually think that Bryce Mitchell is still a pretty good fighter.
He is, man.
That took really good.
He ain't. I think they should have did. Though. Oh my God! What do you think about Raul Rosas, bro? I never asked you that.
Oh, dude, we got to talk about that for a second. Yeah, dude, I think he overlooked Rodriguez.
Yeah, and, dude,
I feel like he put
not that great.
He put all of his
marbles into the
eggs
finish.
In the basket.
Yeah,
for the finish in the first round, and he didn't get the finish and was just gassed out. And I think it was weird they didn't even try to strike a little bit. If the wrestling wasn't working, you should try to strike a little bit. But I don't know. I don't think. I mean, he still could be pretty good, but in terms of him being the youngest champion ever, at 19 or 20 or
no
21,
fucking way,
it's not gonna happen. He's got a long way to go, and he looks like a kid around versus a man. That's what it looked like.
Yeah, he looked tiny in there, didn't he? Didn't he look small compared to Christian? Christian's not even that big.
He also just doesn't look like. He also just doesn't he's not he looks like a kid out there. Just in general, I don't know, appearance, just the way he fights. He's very raw. He's got a long way to go, in my opinion.
I think the UFC should just.
And who knows if he'll. What?
I think the UFC should offer him cans, straight up.
Yeah, I mean, Christian Rodriguez isn't great. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but he's not a can. I feel like they need to go lower than Christian Rodriguez.
I mean,
I feel like maybe he was saying this week that he's he felt like he could go with the top 5 guys now. He said, I honestly feel if you put me against top 5 guys, I beat him right now. And I was thinking to myself, wow, this dude is probably, unless he blows by this Christian Rodriguez guy in the first 3 minutes, that's not gonna happen. Raul needs striking.
At first,
yeah. Raul Rosas' striking needs massive work. He looked like Ben Askren with his striking. Spinning back fist, he looked terrible with striking. So we learned a lot.
Yeah,
the guy does not have any explosive ability. I honestly I know that sounds crazy, but I honestly felt like I could give him a run for his money.
I mean, he's very
seriously,
small,
dude. I feel like if I were to box him or kickbox him, I feel like if I could have a good chance. Grappling or MMA, probably not. I'd probably lose, but I don't know, man. I felt what I was seeing. I felt like I could run. I can give him a run for his money out there in the kickboxing.
Yeah, I think. I mean, he's small.
If you put me in there with him in the 3rd round, I feel like I beat him. If you just substitute me and Christian Rodriguez in the 3rd, after Christian Rodriguez does what he did to him in the 1st and 2nd, I think I can go in there and take him out. Maybe
Yeah,
not. Maybe not.
Maybe.
May-
Who knows? I
I'm
mean,
just
just
trolling,
maybe,
guys. I'm trolling. I don't
just
actually believe that.
boxing. But just boxing.
Okay, dude, let's just get to
With
it.
this-
Which UFC fighter do you think, like, if you like take the UFC fighter like version of a guy, like maybe Piotr Jan in the 5th round against Merab, like which UFC fighter in your kind of weight classes do you think you could take out, like in certain scenarios?
In my weight classes,
Like, do you think you could take out like a
Like-
Ben Askren in the if he's gassed in like a 4th round of an MMA fight?
oh,
Or maybe not Ben.
it's
Maybe
hard
not
to
Ben.
say. What I was actually thinking about the other day.
Like Drickus in the 3rd round would
What?
do you think you could take out like who's someone who looks like absolute shit in the later rounds in the
Paul Craig. Paul Craig. I
yeah,
mean,
do you
Paul
think
Craig,
if you
can't get a
like you
submission.
knew Paul Craig couldn't shoot for a takedown and it was like 3rd round Paul Craig, do you reckon that
Oh
you could
yeah,
give him a run for his
100%.
money? Okay, yeah.
Yeah. I think Paul Craig, but that's it.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
CM
no,
Punk,
I was
yeah,
actually,
CM Punk.
I was thinking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I was thinking about the other day was like, I was like, okay, like if I saw what level of fighters, like until what weight class, if I saw them in the street, it was a street fight, no rules, like fighting to death, like who would I beat? Like that's what I was thinking about the other day. And like I think 100% the 125ers. Like
You think you could
they're
just
just way
you think
too
you could
small.
take out Brandon Moreno?
Yeah,
You think
I mean
if
he's
you and
so
Brandon
much
Moreno
smaller.
in an alley and that's it, and like both of you guys have to like go at it, you think you're beating him?
Yeah, I
Brandon
think
Moreno,
I don't think he'd be
how are
able
you
to
going to
do it.
stop him from breaking your arm with an armbar?
He's not gonna be strong enough. I can rip his like if he tries to put anything on me, I just rip
But what
his
if he
hands
just
off.
what
Like,
if he
I'll be
puts
able
what if he
to-
wraps up the perfect technique like instantly? And it's just that's the danger with these guys. It's like
not
the
gonna-
high level
it's-
125ers, like they could do that shit, you know? They could get you with an ankle lock.
Yeah, but it's not. I just don't know if like it's gonna like.
I mean,
Like,
fair
I think
enough.
I'll, like,
If
I don't
you're
know
if
if
you're
it'll, like-
238, like then maybe. But
Yeah.
you have to be
Yeah,
really.
I just don't know if it'll hurt me. Like I don't know if it'll hurt me. Like
because I feel like it'd be hard to hit these guys. And the grappling is also hard.
yeah, I would love to take him. I would take him down. That's what I would do. I
Fair
would take
enough.
him
Yeah,
down.
you could maybe do that.
I would just beat him up. It's just
Okay,
there's a huge
what
size
about
thing. There's weight classes for a reason.
what about like I'm trying to think, are there any featherweights? Like what about
Well, Peter Yan. I was like Peter Yan. I'm like, well, if
nah,
I saw
dude,
Peter
you're not
Yan, there
beating
wouldn't
Piotr
be
Jan.
there wouldn't be time to analyze my data. You know, there wouldn't be or to like.
I feel like
whatever,
Piotr Jan
yeah.
would still be pretty tricky to deal with, especially with his like just viciousness and overall. Like he's been in some street fights, you know.
But he needs time to download the data.
But
though.
that's in front
I
of
don't know if you
guys
can
like
get that in the
that's in
street.
front of guys like Merab. You know, Merab's is just a different beast. What about like Josh? What about Emmett, bro? What about 5th round?
No,
Emmett
he's too.
without knockout
Yeah,
power? Just
yeah.
Josh Emmett with his technicality. Okay.
I think, yeah, I think so. But I don't. 45s are.
What about
40
Sandhagen?
I think 25. No.
Why not? So you think that you
Sandhagen-
don't think Piotr Jan, but you think Sandhagen?
Because Peter Yan's also shorter.
Okay,
I think
fair
height
enough.
does play a
But he has that power in the boxing, and
Uh,
Sandhagen like.
Yeah, but
What
he
if
can also
you
throw like
don't think
crazy
you could take
knees.
Sandhagen down? He's pretty skinny.
What I mean, but what if I shoot for a takedown and he gives with a
It's a
flying
flying knee.
knee?
Yeah, that's the danger.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know about the 135ers though. Like I think 25ers for sure.
Yeah, 25ers. I
Like,
don't think I could beat many. I don't think maybe I could beat like Jesus Aguilar, like one of these like low bottom in the
or
barrel.
Tim
guys.
Elliott.
Yeah, one of those. Probably not though. I bet these
Or
guys
Tim
kick my ass though.
Oh, what about Patty?
Oh no, I definitely don't beat it. I'd like to beat him, but he's too big.
No, but I think anywhere over 135 is a little bit.
But I could like
Or
again some of these
135.
guys in striking, like I could definitely take some
Just
if it was just
boxing.
pure striking. Yeah, some of them. Like
Anthony
Chase
Smith-
Hooper, I feel like
remember
I could
Anthony
legit
Smith?
give Chase Hooper a run for his money in striking 100%.
Yeah.
Maybe that's
Same with
maybe
Ben
that's
Askren.
delusional, but I just feel like that guy's not athletic at all, and I feel I just
Yeah.
out kick him. I'd win
yeah,
the
I
leg
think there's
kick
a-
game with Chase Hooper. And
leg kick game.
yeah. What about Nunes?
I
Come
mean,
on,
yeah,
dude. You destroy Amanda
she's
Nunes.
strong. No, I meant she's strong, but she's a woman at the end of the day. There's like
Of
different
course.
strengths. Like, yeah, I like. There's a different. Remember when Ronda Rousey thought she'd beat up
Floyd? Yeah,
beat
that
up Floyd or
was
something?
pathetic.
It's crazy. Yeah, I don't know. Anthony Smith thinks he could beat up Andrew Tate.
She wouldn't
if he
be
had a
able to
knife.
put her hands on him. She wouldn't even be able to grab him. Like,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Crazy. Crazy. But yeah, is there any more we want to talk about one more thing. One more thing before we go. Speaking of Amanda Nunes, they're the Vermont, not Vermont.
Oh, yeah.
Vancouver ridiculous. Like,
I mean, I just
like,
think
the first
they need
time
to
they're
do
going to Canada.
Yeah. Since Holloway, right? Holloway and Ortega, I think, was the last one.
Since yeah. And I was like 4 years ago, right?
Yeah, that was a 2018, 5 years ago. I think that they need to just do a new main event. Like, they should just do Jamal Hill main event. Jamal Hill. Or just scrap it and don't do it. Or you know what? Make it a fight night. I think that's what the UFC should do. Make it a fight night. Main event, Amanda Nunes, Juliana Pena fight night. Stack the rest of the card. Either make it a fight night or make it a pay-per-view and put a new main event on it. Sandhagen O'Malley. I know Sandhagen just fought, so that's not going to happen, but Sandhagen O'Malley, main event. Take it, Sandhagen. Still 6 weeks to train. Or like,
or you put a Gaethje versus. What about Gaethje Poirier?
Yeah, main event.
Gaethje Poirier 2 as a co-main.
But the thing is,
I don't know if
event, I mean, you're not selling the card as a like the card is Pena Nunes. No one is buying Pena Nunes. They will buy Poirier Gaethje. That's the thing. You can't get the same attention if Nunes's name is on the card. Like, she should not be the headline name.
That is true.
It's not good for business. Like, they need to do Poirier Gaethje. I think that I don't give a fuck if they have the belt on the line for the women. It's like no one really cares, right? So, yeah.
Not as a 5-round fight would sell. You know what I mean?
I mean, here's the truth. If
I don't think they can do it.
If that's the main event, people will be leaving the arena while it's happening. Like, they literally will be walking out to go home early for bed, to beat traffic.
Leave before the main event.
Yeah, to beat traffic, without a doubt.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what's the reason? Like, how are you going to justify this? Like,
they never do. They never do.
What's the build-up going to be like? You know what I mean? Like what? Like, you know how they have those like the promos and stuff like that. Like, what are they going to say?
They're going to make it seem like the last fight was closer than it really was. They're going to say like Amanda got dominated the first time, and they'll be like, you know, the last fight was somewhat close.
Then Nunes got it. Yeah, I don't know. Or Juliana Pena almost had her in an arm lock, like arm bar. Like,
exactly.
I don't know. It's crazy to me. They're just as us fans. Like, I mean, I just want to see a good undercard. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see Justin Gaethje versus Poirier 2. I want to see Magomed Ankalaev versus Jan, maybe the rematch. I want to. Who else would be available? Maybe Merab versus Sandhagen. Maybe, like, why can't you do that?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, they're both ready to. Maybe see Cheeto versus Jan.
Cheeto versus Jan.
You know, like, what? Or Jan or Font. What about Font? Font versus Jan.
Font
barely took any damage coming off the win.
Yeah.
Something, you know, like where are these guys? And like, I mean, or you could have scratched the Superior Emmett card and put it on Vancouver.
Yep, exactly.
Like, I don't get it. I mean, knowing the UFC, they're gonna fucking put Pena Nunes 3 and then just like a couple bullshit fights below it. You know? And they'll just say fuck you, Canada. But you know the New Jersey card, by the way, like I was waiting. I thought they're gonna put on like one more fight on the main card, but I guess not. You know, like that card's a bit underwhelming too. Obviously, like Charles versus Benny is a great fight, and Aljo versus Cejudo is a great fight. But other than that, I mean, Bryce Mitchell versus who's Jonathan Pierce? Is that he's fighting?
Yeah, Jonathan Pierce.
Like-
That's not a big fight.
And then Andrade versus like Jan or whatever her name is.
Whatever.
That's gonna be a
And
good
who's
fight.
Who's the
for-
opening of the? Who's the opening of that card?
I think Pierce. I think. Let's see. I think it's Jourdain versus Grassi. Like that's not like a good. That's like a headliner for. That's a prelim fight. It's a prelim.
Gracie,
fight.
yeah, it's all right. I mean, it's not terrible, but yeah, not that great.
But Andrade versus Jan as the featured fight, like you got to be kidding me! Like, come on now.
Although
Not
Zhao
UFC.
Yan is pretty good though, so that's not a bad
That's
one.
gonna be entertaining fight. It's gonna be entertaining, but as a prelim fight, no,
Yeah,
as
I
like
mean,
as a
that's
featured
the main
fight.
card. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
What about Bilal versus Shavkat?
Those three, Jessica, Mitchell, Gracie, like these should all be prelims. Like and I'm not saying they're bad. They're all good fights, but like if this
They're
is
not
as I
main-
said, I'm always this pay-per-view stacked. Like I want stacked pay-per-views.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
I mean, I don't like when the UFC the things that I hate the most about what the UFC they do is when they have a big fight or two big fights, they make the rest of the cards suck.
Yep.
That's what I hate the most. The other, yeah, I mean that's exactly what or they stack these fight nights, like you know what I mean, like who gives a fuck about like stacking a fight night? Like put it on the fucking pay per view. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like put Moicano versus Sarukian on the pay per view. Like
Exactly.
that's a
Scrap
good
the
fight.
fight
You
night.
know, put fucking wait, what was the Blades versus Pat? Put Yadong versus Ricky Simone on the pay per view. Bobby Green versus Jared Gordon. Put that on the pay per view.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it. Or put Anthony Smith versus fucking Walker. Like, why can't that be on the pay per view? When are they fighting, by the way?
They're fighting in
Or was that fight canceled?
No, it's in May.
Aren't they making what's it called? They're not the main event though, right?
No, they're not on a main event anymore.
It's Rosenstrike versus Almeida, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I think that's a good main event, but I mean, why can't like Walker versus like Smith be on that card though? Like or 288 or 289 or something, you know? Like I don't get it. Why are they like trying to like stack these like fight nights? That's just I don't get. But that's another. We have. I know like everyone knows what our opinions are on that. But yeah, guys, I think it'd be a great time to stop it. It's been a great live stream so far. If you like us doing more of these, comment down below. We could do these twice a week if you'd like. So just hit that like button, subscribe, and leave us a comment. Appreciate it, guys.